Good evening, everybody! We are die rolling. We've been away for a few weeks. Many apologies for various sickness, holidays, other such commitments. But we're back with a bang.
Bang!
Good.
You've always got a beer smashed down there. Feel better of it.
Back with a bang for today's fantasy adventure that we refer to primarily as Dungeons and Dragons.
Hello, boys. Pink lemonade?
Mom!
Oh,
And
no
we're
way.
back.
So there you go. Apologies. Intro conversation.
So, here we are once again. Is everyone in the right seat? Yes, they are. Good. I was checking our graphics are right. They are. We're good.
We're in.
We are good to go. So, we pick up with our intrepid adventurers, having just left the great bell or the great knell tower, Spetakaza. If you to look over your shoulder, it's barely a speck in the distance now. This 1,000-mile high bell. You've just, how should we say, extinguished a team of guards at the Spetakaza curtain.
Extinguish is very polite.
It is.
They
Yeah,
weren't even
word
on
to
fire
use
when
there.
we started. There are euphemisms in this campaign.
And hello, Stu. You're a bit out of shot there.
Oh,
There you go.
Extinguishing
Okay.
makes us sound like the good guys, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we put a fire out.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
extinguished something. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
we liberated them from their lives.
Yeah.
And you've got through the curtain, and you were heading out of here, and you were aiming towards the Osai. That was the believed
That was the
destination.
general plan.
We
that you
do
were
get
heading
distracted easily, though.
towards. You
Oh,
do.
yeah.
So who knows where we'll be in 2
I
sessions'
completely
time.
agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree. We pick up, and I would say for the first few hours, as you travel to the southwest, because you have a map, of course,
Mm-hmm. So I do.
you are relatively unimpeded. It's a flat journey. There's not the hills. There's the very hilly areas of the human regions, or Baal, or the great height from the bell are all memories now. This is very, very flat terrain, like the Netherlands. Very flat terrain. There's barren areas. There's more grassy areas. There's strange plants and wildlife, small wildlife, birds, insects, and so
Any
on.
jackalopes?
No jackalopes thus far.
Cursed.
And there's honestly a pretty refreshingly calm journey for you for a period of hours. What are the likely events as you travel together? How does your party travel?
Definitely with Zolan moaning. Any long journey is not fun for Zolan.
What are Zolan's main gripes right
His
now?
knees. Achy. He wanted more sleep.
Yes.
At Spetakaza, we left a bit early.
Oh yeah, that was true.
Yeah.
Did we get a full rest?
Yes.
I'm wondering why something's not happening.
Music.
And yes, yeah.
Oh.
It is I think it's playing. We just can't hear it for no apparent reason, so it's fine. We'll go with that.
I can hear something.
How about the rest of you?
Getting fed up with Zolan's moaning.
Yeah.
Oh, it's incessant as well. Really is. Really is.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
Constant stream of verbal diarrhea coming from the little bloke at the back.
Yeah.
Whilst I just correct this slight internal monitoring sound scenario, please just converse as your travelling group.
I like the idea of just. I like the idea of just trying to carry on a conversation and then
breathe in.
Oh my lordy! Breathe. Good job I'm on a diet.
What time of day is it? Do we know? General question for the room.
It's mid-afternoon.
Oh, been left in the morning.
Been walking all day.
Oh, yeah.
Zolan's not
TV
active
drinking a
about
bit.
Yeah, yeah. You'll know about it as
All
well.
day.
Trying to have a conversation, and every time we talk about something, Zolan moans about how much worse it is now than it used to be, and
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the old days were always better.
Were dragons bigger and scarier back in your day?
Not up in the Gnome Lands. We have some fierce warriors up there. No dragons will come near.
You do have fierce warriors up there, do you?
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
do you have heroes in the Gnome Lands?
Well, not really. People don't really aspire to become heroes up there.
You would be the first.
I would argue against that. Other people tend to label me as a hero, but I don't. Yeah,
The first
I've
of
done
the great
anything.
gnomish heroes.
I haven't done anything
And
heroic.
possibly the last.
Yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
Bards will sing songs of your great exploits.
Bards will sing songs about how he got murdered by his friends on the road. If he doesn't shut up.
We could always put you in a bag and carry you.
I would love that. I would love that.
Or we can put
You've got a bag. You
I have.
might fit in.
I'll fit in it. I won't last very long in there, though.
Yeah.
Does
No, I've
time
seen
exist
this
in there?
It does.
No.
Yeah.
But it's all wibbly wobbly.
It's on another plane of existence.
Oh, don't
There's-
talk about magic
Yeah,
again.
there's a...
First one of you turns into a gorilla. Next you're talking about a bag that can consume anything.
And then I'll just casually make my hands glow as we're walking along.
What's wrong with you people?
Do you know any magic, Selden?
No.
You don't?
Why would I know any magic?
I
It's
don't.
frightfully complex. All it does is lead people down paths of getting, I don't know, hung, murdered, or turned into mulch, whatever the kingdom's doing at the moment. Not that anybody really knows. Seems all a pretty dangerous activity.
It's pretty powerful stuff,
And
though.
I quite like being alive.
Light your cigar from 20 feet away.
Oh dear. That's a good thing about being at least mostly elf. Is smoking doesn't shorten your lifespan.
Does it not?
You look cooler than everyone else, and you can smoke.
I bet you do, actually, yeah. Do you have one of those long wooden cigarette holders? I bet you do. I bet that's a...
Keep it far away,
Yeah.
far away from my hair.
You want
Kids that just catch
yellow
alive.
half-elf fingers.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh dear, an incredibly long pipe.
Yeah.
During the conversations, which are going to likely take place over a number of hours, do you discuss your quests at all?
It's a subject that I'm not too keen to discuss too deeply, because underlying everything with Malcolm is a...
Kleptomaniac.
Only steals off the dead?
Yeah, yeah.
is a real desire to just find out what's going on with his family, but he keeps putting the quests, the important stuff, before that.
That's fair.
So it's
And do you explain this to the group, or is this something you're
I suppose-
internalising?
No, I suppose that is something that if it came up in conversation, that is something that I would say that is, but it's not something that I want to discuss too much, because everybody's got their own things that they're putting aside. Everybody's got their own paths that they want to do, and we've been thrust into this great quest.
Family is important though.
Well, yeah, it is, and I really want to find out what's going on there, but in the grand scheme of things, what I want is less important as to what needs to be done. If and when the two sort of end up on the same path, then hopefully I'll be able to do something about it.
So, if there's any consolation, Malcolm, I was talking to old Benadair, and he says his parents didn't resent you for your choices when you chose to join the guard
That's nice
and
to know.
leave. Yeah. Is
That's-
that true? Have I just made that up? Zolan probably just doesn't really matter. To be honest. I might have just made it up.
Whether it was said or not, that is your recollection.
Yeah, it's my recollection. Yeah.
I heard it too.
You was asleep, I'm afraid.
But I got great hearing.
It does. Yeah, I heard it
He
in a
doesn't
dream.
sleep.
Yeah, they didn't resent your choice or resent you for it.
That's good to know. But there's still a lot of unresolved stuff going on there.
Oh, yeah, sounds it.
Everyone has family trouble.
Yeah, this is it. My woes are no greater, I suspect, than anybody else's. But it
At least your parents were destined to live for the same amount of time.
yeah, this is true.
What's your background, Selden?
Which one?
Which one? Your real one, if you would, please. Yeah.
Your official one,
Yeah.
preferably.
Oh, they all get so hard to keep in line. It's sometimes I wonder if I really know. But yeah, maybe we'll get into it one day.
That's fair enough.
Spend a lot of time lying about it. Spend a lot of time pretending to be someone else. Before you know it, gets hard to kind of keep it all straight, really.
Yeah.
No
Live a lie long
resolution.
enough, soon it happens, doesn't it? You
Absolutely.
can fall into it.
You sound like you have first-hand experience with this.
I'm a very old and wise man.
Old and
Old.
Right, yeah, old maybe not wise. Who knows?
mischievous.
Mischievous.
I think there's more to you, Zolan.
Do you think?
I think you're a hero back home.
What did you do
No.
before you were a hero?
I think you're trying to pretend to be someone else.
I've never been a hero. I used to rig gambling machines in
It's basically
Shadecap
become
for
that, to be honest.
You
years. Yeah.
used to rig gambling machines.
Yeah. You ever played the game Goblin's Cock? It's genuinely the name.
How does one play Goblin's Cock?
In all honesty, not even we really know. It's supposedly one of the most random games ever, but me and a couple of friends did figure out how to rig it, so
It can't be that right.
the house can win. But it was one of those combined efforts at which,
Nobody really knows.
no,
Wow. And this was in Shadecap.
yeah.
I didn't know Shadecap was a good place to go to gamble.
Yeah,
Is that what it's
not.
not what it's known for?
Full
Well,
of
apparently
The
not.
house wins.
it's full of arseholes. It really is.
We're really selling it.
Yeah. Oh, it's.
Doesn't
Yeah.
it worry you that everyone seems to be? We heard that everyone seems to be going. There's some kind of illness around the Shadecap area. Is that right?
Towards the Gnomish regions and Shadecap, yeah, they're around those points. But I've learned not to believe everything I hear. Everybody tells me different stuff, to
That's
be
fair.
honest, and I've. God,
That
yeah.
is wise.
So yeah, I'll wait till I see it. I mean, we're pretty clever people that around that part. Pretty
So-
hardy people, dwarves and gnomes.
It's one of the things I learned serving as a scout is always get 2 bits of information before you trust anything.
Yeah,
People talk. People say the wrong thing.
I like that. People lie all the time.
But at least you can trust it. You can always trust somebody to lie to you.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true. I like that.
Unless you're on not, then not so much.
No? What about not? When we ended up in he accompanied us to Spetikaza.
Well, there's a whole burning of the library, and a lot of people suggested that you might have something to do with it.
Do you really think that's the case? Seemed kind of pleasant.
He did.
Well, it was pleasant, not kind of pleasant.
He
It
seemed
was.
too meek and insecure to be responsible for something as dramatical as that.
You were certainly torturing that person in a tent.
That is true. He did do a
Yes,
lot
that
of
is true.
That kind of was his primary function at the Bastion, was getting people to say things they didn't naturally want to say.
He didn't look
Which
like
made
he
him very
particularly-
useful, but
Didn't look like he particularly enjoyed it though.
no, perhaps not. But
I
makes
know
you wonder
some-
what it does to a person.
True enough. I know some people who would, take great satisfaction in causing that amount of suffering to somebody, and it didn't seem. Looks over his shoulder.
Oh, blimey.
You do mean all sorts.
Mm.
I can tell you served. Yeah.
My feet hurt. When are we stopping? Where are we on this bloody map?
We've got until nightfall, which is a good. What? Do we know what an hour is? I don't know if I know what an hour is.
You know
Some
what
length of time.
Some periods.
I don't know how we measure time, but it's some of those.
You can use hours.
Hours. Let me check my timepiece now.
Otherwise, I have to convert too many things on this chart on my DM screen.
That's true. Commonly referred to as bells, isn't it? Bells.
Yes.
You say bells is quite common, based on what town you're in. But we're far away from a town, so we probably wouldn't hear the bells anyway.
I know.
Different in every town.
Yeah. Well, how do the night elves? Apologies. How do the what elves measure time?
They don't. It's just a continuous journey of one thing.
Wow, I love that.
We don't track things like that. We don't really have history. We have stories. We don't really track when they happened. We just know they happened at some point on this great stretch, which is now and then.
I heard a story of a temple where they burn incense, and the incense changes based on the time of day, and so they tell the time based on the smell. It's pretty impressive, isn't it? I think we should do something about it. Based on how Zerwin smells, we know what time of day it is.
Yeah.
And on that note, none of us have showered or bathed, or we don't know when a shower is. None of us have bathed at all.
Ever.
Perhaps.
I was wanted to stay at Spetakaza for a couple of days and get things sorted. When my arrears sorted, we dragged off again.
Well, I came from Equa to the Bastion. I'm quite used to bathing fairly frequently, so this could be quite a rough ordeal.
We could hopefully, at some point, we'll come across a town where we can.
I mean, is it safe? Arguably, the Justicaries know who we are. They certainly know who I am by now. I'm surprised I can still pretend to be one without arousing any suspicion. So maybe they don't know who I am, which would be pleasant. I'm hoping they still think I'm dead, but maybe I blew that when I left through the curtain. But they're all dead, so that's fine.
Leave no witnesses.
Leave no witnesses. And then you don't have to keep making up cover stories.
Oh, it's good.
Not quite sure. Quite sure we should all adopt that policy. To be honest.
Yeah.
Not very good at killing.
After many hours,
Not very good at getting it right. Anyway, thinking back on a certain guard.
after many hours of travel, this conversation obviously continues over time, and you are very pleased to know that the journey is a peaceful one. There are no.
Not with me there, it's not.
There's the odd elven guard that might pass by in the distance that you might see, a few people here and there, a few elves or humans or small or families just wandering from place to place.
Any signs of civilization?
There's the odd hut here and there with people seeming tending to crops and small bits and pieces. But it's very, very sparse out here for a long period of time. This is the theme in these elven lands that you've found so far, is that there's great expanses of space between settlements.
And they still hunt for territory incessantly.
Funny, huh?
What is that about, eh?
Well, they're obviously not using it for farming or anything like that, are they?
Because
Because
all the food come from.
so yeah, how are they supporting themselves? How you can't constantly expand a territory or without using it for something or without supporting it with something.
Unless you're importing it. What are they trading all in?
Don't know.
For the first time, the ground becomes a little raised in places. It's a little more undulating. There's some small hills and things starting to form that you walk past. These are definitely hills and large mounds rather than mountains, but it adds some character to the landscape of what has been fairly bland, desolate journey thus far. You approach what seems to be quite a sparse settlement. This isn't a dense city. This isn't anything like some of the other places we've visited recently. Quite a sparse settlement. And the first thing that jumps out of at you is this cacophony of bird squawks. They're squawks, not tweets.
Does it sound anything like that bird that we fought in Fossborough? Does it remind me at all of that monster?
No, it does not necessarily. No, it doesn't sound. There's so many of them.
Oh, okay.
This is a cacophony. This isn't a single animal. There's clearly
I don't know if I had 100 of them. We struggled with one.
Is that when we were cooking?
No, I was
Like
hiding up a
thunder.
tree while that happened. You got abducted and cooked. That was when Claro ended up fighting some like void thing, and everybody was like,
arena thing.
yeah, there was the
Yeah.
water flowing upside down and the meat. Everyone was like, meat, loads of
Yeah, I
meat.
remember
So they're all weird. And there was a parrot that everybody would fight once a year.
Yeah.
Do you not? Oh yeah, lots of.
Past me remembered that.
I think you're in
Yeah.
badger form.
I think
The settlement that you're coming across seems to be sheltered under a hill, and it's in the shadow of the hill. It seems to be some kind of a farm of some nature. You can just about make out some quite sizable, what you're estimating to be quite sizable creatures on this hill, and from this distance, they look like great big maggots on the side of the hill. But it's a way off, so you can't quite get a feeling of size and scale at this distance. But they look bigger than you can see giant maggots from where you are. That's your best description.
Who the hell wants to farm them?
They're quite pale, yellowy, large creatures.
I've just got I'm a celebrity now, like a witch at Eagle. Oh, you're gonna make us eat one. No.
There's a sign as you approach this settlement, just a little closer.
We still in the Elven lands, yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
cool.
certainly are.
A
Yeah.
couple of us are from here. Do we recognise who these things are?
You can give me a nature roll.
Oh, jeepers. Give it a go.
I'll give you. I'll support you on this.
Hit me with your best shot.
Oh, banger.
Mount
That's-
far away.
that's a
Remembering how to use the app. There we go.
Good one.
Bam! Whoa! It's a powerful 4.
Yeah, no.
Mine's a 10.
A 10. You. Okay,
I've never seen them before in my life.
with a 10, you have heard of creatures. You've heard of large creatures that you've never seen before. That you could estimate these might be hill maddocks. But that's about as much as you know. You've heard of these large, sort of pupil creatures. Is that the right word? Pupil?
Pupa.
Pupae?
You've heard of pupae-like creatures, which are sizable, bigger than a man, called hill maddocks, that some people farm, but that's as much as you know.
I will pass this information around the group.
Why would you farm that, Malcolm? It's disgusting.
What do you farm? Do they farm them, or do you use them to farm something else?
I have no
Well,
idea.
they're just waiting until they turn into massive flies.
Oh, that's terrifying. I'm actually scared
That is
now. I think.
pretty terrifying.
They're cadaver flies. They're gonna eat all these
I don't know.
the
grass.
dead in the area.
You ever eaten seafood? You know, they might just be like big prawns.
I've never even seen the sea.
Root
None of us
vegetables.
have we? No, okay.
Equa was a shoreline.
I've seen the
city.
sea.
You're a liar again.
I was very
You
drunk.
with your forked tongue.
So the
What
west
can I say?
coast, the west
It's a
coast,
bad habit.
So you know.
the west coast of Equa was on the
In which
only
case
sea
I
that
love
anyone knows
seafood.
of.
Hey, that means it's on the map.
There's no sea on
West
the map.
coast. West coast.
Which is the wet bit? That'll be the wet bit.
That'll be the wet bit.
So Epworth would be around here somewhere.
I hope not, because we're heading down there.
Oh, so we need
That must be
Facebook
there.
GoPros.
If you've been to Equa, yes, you would estimate the where you're pointing is approximately the location of Equa.
Ah!
Where is it on the map? I've heard about Equa. Never. Which way? What are you pointing to? Somewhere around here?
There's
This
a
thing here,
city
maybe?
thing just there, next to the wet bit.
What the bloody hell are we? Don't even know where we are.
We're somewhere.
We're about
I'd estimate
we're
the thing in the middle is around about.
we're about an
there.
inch to the right,
Somewhere
and
here.
about half an inch down.
Oh, there's the
I guess, aren't we?
lands.
If inches exist in as well.
Atlantrix did say the map was not to scale. It was also not finished. So
Certainly
you
not
can
finished.
you can make
Gathered that.
Take
So it is also not a map. So
We're writing it as we go along.
yeah. It's more just a picture.
More of a guideline.
Yeah, it's more of a guideline
There's the
than
wood
an actual
elves
rule.
down there.
That's us.
Ooh, you in that little hole.
Yeah, we're there by that
Woods.
little X that says "Here be idiots."
You have no boundaries according to this map.
Well, we don't stray from it. We don't need a boundary.
Oh, the humans are very invasive.
Anyway,
No, they wouldn't come near us.
Okay.
We're mysterious and spooky.
as they're chatting, looking at
ever
the map.
slightly ooky.
Malcolm, who's looking for the next. You mentioned you were looking for a settlement. You see a large wooden painted sign written in Elvish, which you can all read, I believe, which says Razna Selhathna Agricultural Nexus.
Ooh,
Agricultural nexus.
This-
Nexus sounds posh.
The second two words have clearly been painted afterwards. They're much less faded than the first two. So it looks like Razna Selhathna has been there for quite a while.
Does it have a meaning or is it like a proper noun?
It's you're welcome to give me a let's say a history roll for that.
Roll it.
Who else is good at history?
I've got 12.
So I won't do.
That's 14.
0.
I can't do a history, but I can do a murdering strangers roll. Is that?
I got a +3 to history if it helps. No, I'm not going to do it. I don't like playing the game that way.
No problem.
Okay,
Yeah.
there we go.
Just because I'm the best, I don't. Yeah. If I'm not, I might
It's
not
a
be the
powerful
best.
I know history.
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything to you. It seems like a place name. If it has meaning, you don't know what it is.
Right.
Although I would say that most places in Asher, so one of you will have picked this up at some point during your time. Most places in Asher do tend to have meanings. The words tend to have meanings. You just don't always know what they are.
But not this one.
You just don't know if it does. You don't know what it is. Yeah.
No, I don't think it has a meaning.
Not bigging up good story writing.
Of course. Yeah. There's a subheading underneath it as well,
Oh, keeps
Um,
going.
which reads an economic sanctuary for women.
Economic sanctuary for women. I chose the wrong disguise.
Do you have a ladies' disguise?
Always have a lady's disguise.
Let's. But they haven't seen us yet, have they? How close are we to this place?
I mean, you're close enough that you can read the
Close enough to
sign.
read
At
it.
the moment, there's no people immediately
We're pretty close.
Damn.
It would
Gonna
be very
snuck
obvious
off to
if I got into the disguise now.
on the CCTV.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shame.
My general rule is don't turn into the disguise at the welcome sign.
That makes sense. I was hoping we was reading a sign on the road.
Especially
Like,
because I'm
the
pretty sure it
sanctuaries.
takes me a good one of our Asher hours to.
I could do with a nap.
There you go.
Beneath the sign is another one.
I'm currently disguised, actually, thinking about it. I currently have brown hair.
You disguised as yourself.
With brown hair.
It's just like Clark. Oh, he's taking his glasses off.
Stand up a bit more straight.
Can't be him, yeah, black hair.
Yeah, so there's another sign underneath, which is completely different style. It's been painted. It's not. Doesn't look quite as professional. It's more decorative. It's been painted bright purple,
Oh,
and it's got this bright yellow curved text on it, written in a purposefully nice, elaborate way.
oh no.
And it reads in both Elvish and Common, unlike the
right.
sign which reads in Elvish.
Hell
This
spa.
reads both Elvish and Common.
Feldspar.
Strapping men wanted.
Nice.
We will always make it worth your time. Silver, information, romance, all available here.
Is this a freaking anime filler episode? This is definitely an anime filler episode. Then.
I definitely chose the right disguise.
Bathhouse.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I want to remind you, whilst you're looking at this again, this cacophony of squawks is louder and louder. It's somewhere within here. There's some kind of
Somebody's choking the
major
chicken.
squawking.
Is this where the giant maggots were?
Bashing the parrot.
So
Is
the
that-
mag.
is
So
that-
if you picture where we're coming
Bashing the
through,
parrot?
we've got a large sort of N-shaped sign
Oh yeah.
on the top, which would form almost a sort of archway that you would walk through
yeah.
to enter the.
M-shaped sign. It's
to
not
enter
yellow,
the town.
is it? On a red background. Don't for copyright here.
The Golden Arches.
And then, so you walk in. Yeah, you would walk through it into this this sort of farm-like settlement,
Bit of a ranch,
Um,
I'm getting. Is that a
and
bit of a
then
ranch?
So
and then there's it's in the shadow of this hill, sort of at the far side, and so these large hill maddocks, which you believe they are, sort of frame the whole town, or
I'd like to
backdrop
make,
to the town.
2 observations in rapid succession.
Yeah.
First one, it specifically states men, which only counts for one of us. The second one,
Yes.
I'm new to this group, so I'm not really sure on kind of our group morality, but are we above pimping out Malkin for money?
Malcolm's not.
It said strapping men, did it?
So it says,
I've got a strap.
strapping men wanted. We will always make it worth your time. Silver, information, romance, all available.
I think this is going to be a play on words, and you're actually going to be strapping a lot of things together. We're looking for strappers.
Do we think this is a house of ill repute?
I think I've been having trap sensor go off
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
quite a long time now.
Yes.
Are these birds
It's a trap.
inside?
Yeah, where are the birds?
So in
I
terms
mean,
of
not the birds, the birds.
yeah, so in terms of how this appears, there's a very poor fence. I mean, we keep very little out. You know, it's not. This isn't a city wall or a big.
It's not like down on its luck.
No,
course
it's just a big, not particularly well protected settlement.
Obviously built by a woman.
Ooh.
We're back.
We're back. Uh-oh.
Say it.
Well,
Have we taken this literally as men wanted, as in, like we at the moment we haven't conversed in the male for an elf or the male for another species.
Yeah, it's the female- it's
Have
the-
we taken that literally, as in it just wants blokes, as in blokes of all races?
Yeah.
Blokes, we'll call them, or literally as in men, because if we're in the elven lands where humans are hated,
yeah.
and it specifically says men, then it's
That's
a trap.
worrying.
Yeah, it's very worrying.
It's a good point.
So
So
some-
the Elvish word for man, does it specifically mean...
So some people would refer to a male as a man, more colloquially in passing, but it could also be more implicit and talking about men. So either meaning could be inferred.
Wood elves aren't really blokes.
Well, there are gnomes, really. Not
Neither
very-
are
not
elves,
very
really,
black.
so-
I'm a bit of a lad. Gnomes, we're lads. Hey.
I'm very in touch with my feminine side.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's that pink taffeta dress you use as a disguise, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So, okay, obviously this is a trap of some sort.
I feel this is the episode that we spent a long time getting over a hole. Maybe we should just go in and
Do you
take
want
a
to
I
look.
think it's
rephrase
good.
that slightly?
I think it's going to be okay.
If
It
I
wouldn't
think-
be a trap this out in the
No.
open. There's some distressed birds in there that
I mean,
need
realistically,
some help.
if I believe we should.
Of the flap evil.
oh, it gets worse.
Cut again.
Tyrone would like to apologise for
any patriarchy
This bloke
supporting
here
comments.
sees some distressed birds in need of burly men.
the opinions of the cast are not the opinions of Tyrone.
Oh, lordy, lordy.
In all honesty, if this is a trap, it's a poor trap, and I think it'd be fun to entertain it as being a trap.
They've got really low standards for people falling for this, so I think we're not falling for it if we go in.
This
'cause
would
I
be
don't-
good. Yeah.
As long as we go into this with our eyes fully wide open,
This could be a lot of fun.
not. No, I should have phrased that slightly differently as well. This is just going to get worse. Let's go and knock on the
Let's go and have a
door.
look. Let's go and have a look.
So you
Weapons
start to
lads.
walk into this farm-like ranch, perhaps, and you see there's some pretty well-set tracks in here. There seems to like big things have been moved. There's some sort of trench-like areas where something's been sort of dug in and moved and dragged through the.
Jeepers!
Who did you kill?
Whoa! Felix, he's already dead.
Felix.
That's Felix.
Yeah.
He's
What's
gone.
he even doing on that?
Yeah.
Get out of here!
And then there's some huts. There's a few what you would, I guess, refer to as sort of street urchin, like not. It's unclear whether they work here, whether they live on the streets here, whether they're impoverished. It's not completely clear. They don't look well-to-do. They're sort of sat around and preparing a few things of
Is that a
note.
common occurrence, or is that particularly unusual? Like, I'm from Equa, street urchins are fairly common. So.
Yes, yeah. It's tricky to know what is common and what isn't in any of these towns. They're all so different.
So different and far apart.
There's also some children running around in the distance.
Horrible.
Of note, of the 8 or 9 people that you can sort of see busying themselves around in this, this dusty, muddy, farm-like environment, they're all female.
Okay.
2 dark-haired ladies dressed very modestly. Everyone seems to be pretty modestly dressed here. There's not much lavish attire standing out to anybody. They look across and they sort of point toward the 4 of you. You're quite notable given how you all appear.
It's like the president.
They're all.
Cuff in the chest.
And after a moment, they sort of talk to each other, and one calls in Elvish, "Come on in." And the 2 of them sort of laugh and turn their heads away from you and sort of walk away into the distance. And one of them sort of looks over their shoulder again
After you.
toward you all.
Do you have any baths?
A few of the children sort of. Everyone sort of turned and looking now. The vast majority of people have sort of all turned, and some of them have gone silent. Some of them are sort of whispering. Some of them are pointing. A couple of people are laughing.
I'm glad the children are here. It makes it significantly less likely we're going to get baked into a pie.
Oh, I don't know. Children are really mean.
It's never really occurred to me before, but we probably look very odd.
No, like the Reservoir Dogs. That's all I've got in my mind. Every time we're walking down the street.
That's never occurred to you.
Yeah.
Even when we had Nollis.
Yeah, you do it
I'm a
less
dog.
less peculiar without
Nollis.
knowledge.
When Norris was around, we were kind of going into some fairly odd situations, but this, just walking into a small village community.
And we've ditched the talking dog with the sword that's bigger than
That's
him.
true, yeah. If anything, this is the least odd.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
but
true.
it's not, is it? Because we've got one obvious elf, another wood elf,
Less obvious to some people.
and a human and a gnome, both of which would not normally be or none of whom would be seen in company of each other under normal circumstances. So we must look like quite an odd little grouping.
Sylvan's probably weird because he probably looks like an elf to you and looks like a human to Thorin.
You all look the same to me.
The main
Tall
thing,
folk. They all look the same to me.
the main thing that stands out is the great big height differential.
Yeah.
Zolan is, of course, of gnomish size. Thorinir, you're very tall. Malcolm, you're closer to Thorinir than you are
But
to.
Thorinir is all leg, so when sat next to him, they're the same.
Just 2 massive spindly legs.
How tall is Selden?
That's a good question. He's probably
leg.
not massively tall, probably 5.5 feet.
For an arse,
Okay.
maybe.
It's
Yeah,
a-
but
it's a
how
real
real
Malcolm's a
difference,
little
'cause
bit taller
I'm
than
all
that.
leg.
He's not
We're
tall.
all-
Not
we're all
tall.
the same
What
size.
about your arms?
Never
Have you
saw
got,
his
have you got
tall.
gnome-sized arms?
I've
My
never
arms are
sort
longer
of
than my
particularly
entire body.
pictured him as a beefcake or anything like that. He's an average height for him.
I'm all about the reach.
A lady.
Sylvan's quite spindly, actually. Athletic,
Not
spindly.
spindly as.
No, not
You
massive
say
legs.
Thorinir or Carl?
Thorinir. I'm kind of picturing Thorinir as a almost sort of Groot-like proportions, long,
He's
long,
pretty,
long arms and long
He's
legs.
pretty gnarly.
Yeah.
I guess he would be tree as well.
A bit twiggy.
A particularly unattractive lady who stood to one side
Hello.
with the least symmetrical face you've ever seen, and straw-like long blonde hair, filthy as well. Covered in dirt, and particularly her hands. Covered in
Imagine the
mud.
bus driver from South Park.
She shouts across, "The biddy is gonna like you."
The who?
The biddy.
The biddy?
And then she turns away again.
She's the one who makes the pies.
And there's another. Then two ladies stood, sat on a stoop. One of them sat on the stoop, very very toothy, sort of outwardly protruding teeth.
Oh yeah.
And then
Get it back for a letterbox.
and then a much older one. And then a much older one who seems to be the inverse. She's only got a single tooth, it seems,
Oh,
in the
nice.
front, and it's a pretty yellowed tooth as well. The two of
Have
them.
you met Malcolm?
The two of them are chatting to each other in quite a gossipy fashion. Oh, aren't they handsome?
Oh,
Handsome, gorgeous, more like.
this peeking out thing is not. I'm changing my mind rapidly.
I think she'll go for the one with the antlers. What is he? Is he a jackalope?
I'm
think-
fond of a jackal.
I think she'll like that one. And then the child runs past and turns back around. And she looks at them, and they sort of nod to the little girl, these two ladies, and the little girl says, "The biddy's gonna like them," and runs on a little bit more through the mud. And there's just a lot of chatter, and they're all sort of pointing, and a little bit of sort of knowing nods, and sort of
It's fucking terrifying.
they're all talking about you
terrifying.
rather than to you.
Oh lordy.
To fit in, I'll be doing the same.
Yeah. So I've done a lot of work infiltrating cults. And this thing has cult written all over it.
Yeah.
It's either pies or cult.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, if somebody ends up summoning a demon at some point,
We're gonna have.
let's be aware of that.
We might have to fight our way out of this.
Yeah, well, I'm ready for
just
that.
See how things go.
I think we need to strike a conversation.
Before we do anything, what are we hoping to achieve here? Food, lodgings,
A bath. Very
bath.
nice.
Free all the ravens or whatever they are.
free
Definitely some work for a hero. I'm getting used to this whole hero business. I'm used to doing work for pay that isn't.
I need some money.
Actually, some
Money would be
some food,
would be incredible.
something that hasn't,
Actual food.
something that hasn't been stored in my backpack for a week. Or so would
Absolutely.
be quite nice.
Actual food to fill our packs with.
Yeah.
A bath. Money.
I'm
Yes.
not eating the pies until I see what goes in them. Don't trust them yet.
And either Zolan or Malkin to have some romance, and then I would be satisfied.
As you're closer and closer, this bird sound is very, very, very loud now. And as you're sort of strolling through the sort of a street, it's not a very particularly well organised town. There's more little shacks and huts and things, just hickledy-pickledy, any which way. It looks like the town planner was having an off day when they built this place.
Off from the left comes a sound. Diddling, ding, ding, ding.
It's not even on the map.
You look through two slightly wider buildings, and a new view just becomes available to you that you hadn't seen previously, which explains largely this bird sound. Finally, there,
So many birds.
from across through this opening, this large opening, you can see the largest quantity of animals all in one place that you probably any of you have ever seen, and they are
Wanna make you feel good.
these white, large, it's fairly large, maybe a foot tall birds.
Jeepers.
Um,
Big bird. Seagulls.
They are wing to wing, absolutely covering this large expanse, this fenced-in expanse, which you might assume to be a field or some kind of a pen
So it's not like
that
an
holds.
aviary, they're not.
No,
Like
this
a
is
fence.
open.
Jeepers. Good job none of us have any fish and chips.
Oh god, yeah.
And it is just you cannot see for birds as far as you can see up until this hill. There are.
But they just sat there watching us.
They are there.
Generally
They're
being
just
birds.
packed. They're just making. They're making this cacophony of sound. Every one of them seems to be squawking. There's a lot of movement. There's a lot of feathers here, there, and everywhere. And they are just wing to wing.
So we're in the Elven region. This town is populated by elves, and there's nothing for fucking miles.
There's loads of birds.
Yeah, no, but what if they crammed them into such a small space when they've got infinite
They can fly.
space?
But they're here of their own accord, surely.
The birds?
Maybe they can't fly. Chickens
No.
can't fly.
I mean, you can give me a nature roll to see if you know anything about these birds.
These people are barbaric. Have we? One thing that Zola's going to be looking for is any male creatures of any form in the village, be that children or adults. I'm interested to see if it's any male kids.
Sure. So at the moment,
Well,
no, you
looking
can't.
around.
At the moment,
Not
it's
even
all
children.
female.
All female, yeah.
These are 10.
A 10. You're not familiar with this bird. It's not clear whether or not they can fly at this point.
Is there a roof? Oh,
There's no
not
roof.
sealed in or
Could have
anything.
the wings clipped, I suppose.
Yeah, it could be.
You tell me what.
Will we carry
I
on?
want to get the hell away from that.
We're not going to go and have a look at the
I'm not
birds.
going in the bird pit. No, that sounds frightfully
Well, we need to
uncomfortable
find-
for all involved.
Yeah.
Are we next to the bird pit?
You're very close. Yeah, it's just sort of between two buildings that have sort of opened up a bit, and you've got this new.
I imagine it smells
New
pretty right.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
absolutely,
gonna
yeah.
approach the
I'll
bird.
investigate with you. Yeah, I'll go and investigate.
I'm going into the bird pit.
The Thorin is walking towards the,
Oh, this
and it's
I'm
quite
not going to do that.
it's amazing. You've just not seen a quantity. I mean, we've all grown up with David Attenborough. Sometimes you see
Absolutely,
videos of lots of animals, but really, any given time, you don't really see more than a few. In
I'm not
normal
used
scenarios.
to birds on the floor, to be honest. Above the trees, in the trees,
I don't want to get any
Not
closer
just
to that smell.
on the floor. But I think they smell very reminiscent.
Yeah, there
I'm
is
missing this kind of smell.
there is definitely an aroma of densely
E.
packed
coli.
together bird.
Didn't know what that would smell like.
Yeah, it's farmy. You're getting farmy smells.
Farmy smells. I've smelled a chicken
Dead.
farm.
In
now,
abundance.
Francis.
Yes.
You can imagine there's
Farms
quite an
are
amount.
fairly awful.
Yeah, quite an amount of excretion that might have been might be in the area. There is a fairly unpleasant
Maybe that's
to some
a bit of some value.
aroma.
Maybe that's what they're farming.
Yeah.
Maybe they're farming the poop.
After a few, so as you approach,
Maybe
and
you
you're
can go
approaching
up
as
on
well.
the
Zoe.
Okay, yeah, I'm interested to see if.
As you approach,
I'm not
You-
going to
Oh no. Rustling the bird. As you approach,
How tall is
Roll
one
a-
compared to me?
so
they eat all of your skin.
you're twice the size of one.
My size still.
Twice.
They're tiny in comparison.
What's the real life equivalent? What birds are like this
It's like
big?
a foot.
Emu?
Seagull?
Talking like an emu?
Yeah, like a foot tall, right?
Oh, just
Yeah.
a seagull.
But it would
okay,
be
Yeah.
if
It's a
it's
small
half Zolan
goose.
size, it'd be like a big one for us, wouldn't it? It's like
Yeah.
a
Yeah, it's-
3
we-
foot bird.
You saw the mangeese before. They were quite, which you kissed, if you recall, in
Yeah.
Broker.
Maybe this is why
They
I'm
were
drawn.
of that size. Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. They were of that size, I guess.
Not
But
an albatross.
normally, a bird would be smaller. Yeah. There is an extremely over this bird sound as you get closer. You actually can make out a second sound now, which previously must have been shrouded by this high-pitched, shrill, intense wall of squawking. You see this.
Name of my second album.
There is this huge, extremely loud machine in the center of this field. In the center of this field,
Don't even think about it.
a very large vehicle, and vehicles aren't something that really you've seen much of at all. Maybe you might have seen some things which approach vehicles somewhere in your gnomish learnings, but they don't. There aren't just vehicles lying around Asher.
Good lord.
It is emitting an unimaginable amount of smoke from it in all directions, which is just covering this large patch of these birds. It's clearly something is burning because you can make out some bright light from within it, like fire. And it's
mobile barbecue.
it's making this very loud machine like bashing and whirring right in the centre of this field. And it's quite a distant, it's 100 feet or more away from you in the centre of this.
So it's 100 feet.
pen.
So from the edge of the pen, you're then 100 feet in.
Yeah, and that's somewhere in the middle of it, and it probably goes on another 100 feet or even further. It's tricky to estimate.
I'm not going to lie, I've done some questionable things in my time, but that makes me feel uncomfortable. I just framed a guy for 2 murders.
It's tricky to see exactly what's taking place because there's quite a lot of smoke emitting from it. But the other thing that is, even though you can't see exactly what's occurring, there is evidently a massive quantity of feathers flying up from it. From all around it.
Zola? Any ideas?
You're our resident mechanic.
Can I ask one of these birds what's going on?
Yeah.
Sure,
Absolutely barbaric,
Yeah.
the space, isn't it?
I can't remember how this works. But
Ducky!
I don't think you can tell me much.
Remind me, do I have to make a roll? Or do you
No, it's just a super power that I have.
Careful, the gamble eggs will come back soon. I'm sure you end up getting control of the
Yeah,
gamble eggs.
they know what I'm saying. I know what they're saying. They can't really say much. They can't say anything. They can't understand sophisticated concepts.
Sure.
But they can tell me like what they've seen,
Yeah.
what they've done,
Yeah.
what's happening.
What have you seen?
So anything you're asking in particular?
What's going on? Why are you here? What is that thing in the middle? Are you okay? Are you happy?
Very close.
Very close to what?
Very close together.
Yeah. This is. You look a bit crammed in. Would you like to be freer?
No.
Yes.
Do you know what that is behind you?
And it turns around, and it's quite evident that it probably because it's at the eye level with another series of birds. It possibly can't make out what you're trying to.
Can I reach and lift it?
Andrew.
It's Andrew, okay?
Andrew's very close.
I think you really broke Ollie, I think.
The wrong day to be drinking beer on duty.
Wow. Sorry. The first bit was the fact that you're nailing Eric Idle's voice. The second bit was Andrew, just got me. Apologies. Oh, right. I'm ready. I'm back in the room.
Why are you here? What? Why? Yeah, why?
I'm always here.
But for what purpose?
What do you mean?
I'm gonna climb in.
Okay, sure. So you climb in. Are you trying to be careful not to stand on them?
Oh yeah, of course.
It's pretty hard because they are. These are real. When you get in there, you realise just how little free space there is. I mean, these
It's
are.
gonna go so bad.
I'm gonna. What's your name?
Looking for his name in the paper. I didn't know you were going to speak to this specific bird.
Not sure.
Come with me. I'm gonna pick the bird up.
Okay.
I'm gonna show the machine. I'm gonna tell everyone to try and move.
Okay. If you can just give me an animal handling roll to see how
Literally.
well coordinated this is.
Oh God.
And this is an animal handling roll of disadvantage because there are so many of them that you're trying to orchestrate.
Bad.
It is a 15.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Disappears beneath the sea
the
of feathers.
Oh,
the bird that you're the bird
20.
the bird that you're holding, and as you get up closer to it, is a white bird. It's not just like something like a goose, a white bird, but it looks like it's wearing glasses, and you realise it looks like they're all wearing glasses. Not actually. They're spectacled.
Yeah.
They've got 2 dark black ring patterns that cover both eyes.
At least one of them has a name.
And this bird is helping you as you're walking through it, carrying it through this sea of birds. It's like, get out of the way! Move! Step aside! And you're carrying it and walking through this field. What are the rest of you doing at this point?
I think Thorny might be about to either be eaten alive by birds or destroyed by that machine.
I'm
We're doing
not
nothing.
going in there.
I
I'm
fully agree with you.
I'm absolutely not going in there.
Fully agree with you.
I'm gonna.
I mean, I thought that our major problem is logistically. At this point, it's just getting killed by nature or lack thereof.
Oh, I
I can't believe
any
what
way
shenanigans you people get up to.
This is nothing.
Really?
Trust me on this.
We are a danger to ourselves.
I just imagine the
Let me tell you
Godslayers would be a fairly professional
I'll
outfit.
tell you about the gamble later someday.
The Godslayers, I like that. You might have just got yourself a party name after episode 70.
Well, you just got yourself a metal band.
Power metal.
I'm going to sort of look around, see if there's anybody who looks like they might be in charge here around.
Thorny is
Apart from
He
apart from
does seem to be in
Thorin
charge.
parting the waves.
If you give me a perception roll.
Somebody with some kind of tiny shepherd's crook.
That's 12 plus 2.
Is Olin in?
Is
in
14.
No.
Is there
No,
anyone
Zolan's quite confused, to be honest. He just
this-
heard some... "Ooh," and he walked off with a holding a
you
pigeon.
would get buried.
Yeah,
You
was-
can't hear the conversation.
no, I'm just interested to see what you're doing. I'm just like, well, he's got it under
He
control.
hasn't slept in a while, has he, Thorny?
Mm.
That's what you're thinking.
Yeah. No, you've got it
Could
under
be finally
control.
losing it.
I'm thinking this is how one of us dies.
I'm just hoping he doesn't do anything too brash. I'm all for liberation, but maybe not right now. Bit more intel. Covert night
If
operation,
he
maybe
lets
for
that lot out
liberation.
of there, then it's going to be a stampede.
I don't know what's happening.
So,
No idea.
as you're with your 14, as you're looking across the sea of birds, and you see Thorny sort of wading towards the centre, carrying this other bird, sort of hooting at it. There's one other sort of standout structure as you're sort of panning across here. It's smaller than this big central machine that's covered in feathers and smoke all around it. There's a smaller, looks like almost like a big fixed human-like structure, almost like a cage that somebody would stand in. It looks like a cage for somebody to fit in.
Like a shark cage.
And it looks like there might be someone in there, but it's like bipedal, and it's like humanoid shape
Oh wow.
that somebody could potentially, and it looks like somebody's in that.
Similar to what Knot was in, for instance, or...
No, that was more like a rectangular
cage.
cage.
Yeah.
It was a
Okay.
cuboid
So you're
cage.
talking
this is
about
a-
something that
There's
almost
a
like a...
Like an Iron Maiden.
Person-shaped cage,
Yeah.
like an Iron Maiden cage.
It seems
Under the
there seems
mallet.
to be some kind of a metallic
The
cage,
Choky.
but that's in a humanoid.
Is it solid or is it
Like a
like
suit.
cage-like?
It's kind
As
of
in-
cage-like. It looks like more solid areas, but they look like some somewhat cagey and hollowed out bits. For example, you can see a person's face in the distance within it.
Oh. Also, it's big. It's not human-sized.
It is probably twice the size of another human. It's probably 10 foot tall,
Angel of the North.
and quite a big metallic structure that sort of stands somewhat near this machine, facing the machine,
All I know is people in the country are weird.
and it's surrounded by the birds still, of course.
Maybe we should.
Is it moving or is it just
It's
completely
not
static?
moving.
We go and have a look.
Yeah, I'm gonna make my way round. If you're coming with me,
Sure.
We'll make our way round the outside of the. I'm not going through the middle.
So you go through the perimeter.
I'm not going through the
I'm
middle.
keeping
of
one
that.
eye on Thorny.
Yes, yeah. Keep
Turns
your eye
into
on
an
me.
Alfred Hitchcock sort of scenario. I can run in
If he
there.
disappears, then I'll think about running in and.
Yeah.
Or general red patches start appearing.
Yeah.
And Zolan,
It's under control.
yeah. Good
So
to
yeah, it's kind of walk through bird poo, really.
Nothing
Already
about this
filthy.
situation feels under control.
Of note, you are certainly walking through lots of bird poo, particularly squelching.
Galoshes
Well,
deep.
you know, I
Big
don't
galoshes
wear,
on it.
I don't wear boots. Do I don't know what point.
You're not wearing your galoshes.
Yeah.
If I'm still wearing my galoshes, oh no, I don't wear socks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I would have put on galoshes.
Yeah.
Back in the day, but previous to that, he's a barefoot man.
You've got to be chafing. By
Yeah.
now.
Oh yeah, he cut the bottoms off his galoshes, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
So he can eat more at once. So yeah, he's definitely walking through and it's just filling up his galoshes.
Like giant cookie cutters.
Oh, it'll be coming out the top, isn't it?
So as you get closer and closer,
Jeepers.
you too probably make out this structure that I was describing just over here. Which one are you more interested in?
Sorry, say that again.
So there was this bipedal structure as well that somebody seems to be in. This sort of metal cage.
Okay, which is the most? What's doing the most?
Definitely the smoky feathery machine.
That thing.
Okay, so yeah, you're going to head towards that.
I think that is what I was walking towards.
Yeah,
That's the smoky, feathery,
Yeah.
loud.
sure thing. Yeah, and you
Horrible
keep
feeling it's going to be pretty grim in there.
you keep carrying, you keep heading forwards, and as you get to that position whereby the smoke isn't quite as obstructive as you sort of get closer to it, the feathers are just insane. So many feathers just flying up in the air in this shroud of smoke. But from within those feathers, and this loud, smelly oil, it's an unnatural, oily, smoky smell, and burning. You see this huge wheeled machine, these great big wheels, which to you feels as tall as a tree. It's probably not. Well, it's as tall as a small tree. It seems to run on some kind of an overhead track. It's quite. It's not a great big one. You guys didn't make it out at first glance. It seems to be almost like a wiry track, but it's attached, like a bit like a tram would be attached to the top of a cable. The front of this thing, this great big machine, has these spiked prongs, like grippers, yankers, shredders, tearers.
Killamajig.
It's a killamajig.
And they chomp and whir at the front of this huge, heavy, serrated corkscrew, like bulldozer front that just seems to be consuming birds.
I'm never going to touch KFC again.
There is not a huge amount of blood.
Oh, because it's all being soaked in.
There's not a huge amount of blood, but there is quite a decent amount of feathers that are clearly at the point of contact with this machine, being hurled up in the air.
And how fast is this going?
So it's barely moving,
Okay.
but these things, everything about it is moving and chugging and whirring and extracting bird.
Have you watched Chicken Run lately?
Not recently. No.
I don't
How
want to be
fast
alive.
were the birds moving out of the way of Thorinir and the unnamed bird?
Slightly. They're not like panicked. Right? There's just a little bit of a step aside.
If they're not
to
panicked
avoid.
by the machine, they're not going to be panicked by
How
you.
wide is this machine?
It's broad. It's let's say round about 15 foot wide. It's quite cuboid and squared off. Not particularly elegant. Doesn't seem to be any windows or anything. Anyone looking out of it. Just this big old metallic death machine.
And can I see the track above?
You
I
can.
can see the route it's
Yeah.
going to take.
You can. Yeah, you can see it seems to be on this wire. It looks to be sort of heading in the southwesterly direction, slowly. Yeah. There's also as you get closer and closer as well, you now get a better look at this this kind of bipedal. And the best way I can describe it now you're closer to it is almost like this. Looks like a dreadnought. It looks like this big robot in effect, where with clearly there's a person inside it, who's got into it. And yeah, it's about 10 foot tall. It's much bigger than the person, but it resembles a person. And it's got these... and it seems that she is operating some big levers and dials from within this fixed
Look like
location.
Sigourney Weaver.
So,
Get away from her, you.
yeah. So the only person who's got a good look at the moment is Thorinir. You can't. It seems like she's got something covering the top half of her face. It's very dark, black. Yeah, the top half of her head, sort of dark black around, and then paler white skin on the bottom half. She's also got 2 long white, looks like pendant kind of earrings. And then most of the rest of her is obscured by this machine that she's mounted within.
Do I think she can see me?
You would guess that she probably could at this point. Yeah, you would, unless the smoke is obscuring her view.
Have we made it round to the other side yet?
Yeah, you're probably you've circumvented the perimeter such that you're closer, almost the closest point to her, but for entering the field. If you can call it field.
And this side is also still chock-a-block with
Whole way round,
boys,
yeah.
right?
Whole way round.
So is the big person, they're not in the field?
Yes, yeah. So she herself is surrounded by birds.
Is it walking around and moving? Or is
It's
it
not
stationary?
moving. No, not moving.
How far into the field is it?
It's actually pretty close to the centre of the field. It's clearly, to yourself, Thorinir, it's clearly aimed at and looking at this big central machine, and she seems to be operating something in some regard.
Might be operating the machine.
I'm going to shout stop to her, and I'm going to head in its path.
Yeah, it would have to be extraordinarily loud shout because this machine is really emitting a lot of noise, and obviously the birds are as well. So as you shout, you sort of can't even hear yourself as you're calling to her.
I'm gonna yeah.
Do you want to step in the path of that thing?
Do I have a... Felt like I had something loud.
Some druid
With
craft.
thaumaturgy.
Just set her on fire. slightly.
Blow the machine up.
Oh, thunder waver.
All the birds. Thunderwave. Yeah. Oh god, I can see that.
It's the CPU of the universe crash. All the birds.
How would this... He's trying to think to himself, how would this vehicle deal with difficult terrain?
Probably not well.
And probably eat it.
So, yeah, I mean, it's very heavy. Clearly looks extraordinarily heavy.
Are the birds being outputted? Just keep going in.
Not that you can see. Again, from your distance, it's a little.
Yeah. Fried chicken coming out there.
Thorinir's got a much better perspective than you have, but up to you if you want to get closer. You've got to go in the field.
Not really.
No.
We're not in the field yet.
No.
I feel like being smeared in bird poo wouldn't necessarily help
We're around the
getting money for you.
The back end of this thing. So, is there any, from our perspective, is there anything coming out? Does it look like there's little packages of like processed meat coming out in?
Other than
I think it's pretty clear what they're doing. They're not exactly giving them a kiss, are
I
they?
know what they're doing, but
Turning them into something
where
that is no longer bird.
Interested in where it's all going.
yeah, no.
Just leave the pie.
Other than the smoke and the feathers, isn't it? From your distance, there's probably
Personally,
nothing
no.
more you
With
can make out.
Sildon? I don't know. We'll find out.
Well, I'm in the path of the machine now, and I'm waving it down. But I've got a pretty good runway.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so you're still holding.
Still holding.
Waving the bird.
Holding in one hand and like trying to wave down and like stop.
Yeah.
Stop. I'm
Should we
doing
be
my-
helping?
More space.
Oh,
So you doing anything particular, Zolan? You're just sort of watching on.
I'm thinking about going and starting to speak to a civilian to get an understanding. I feel like we're going to break something, but we're not going to ask the people whether this is a really integral part of society. Potentially,
Yeah,
a
maybe
little bit
these
of
are
barbarism
damaging birds.
is actually maybe more helpful to the greater good. So I'm going to go and just double check before
These-
we inevitably break something. But
true.
actually,
These birds could be ravaging the ecosystem.
Could be.
Thoria
Yeah.
looks over and he can see. Well, I know what Zolan's going to do. And he's like, Zolan. Like, this is not the only way this can be dealt with.
Where are you going? I've just walked off. I'm like, interesting. Gonna go and have a chat.
Okay.
Let's have a chat.
What did the sign say? Ecological.
Centre of wellness.
No, it's ecological something.
It was
I didn't
something
write
else.
it down.
Technological
I literally wrote in my journal, we arrived at a town, I don't remember what it's called. I just wrote it down.
ecological hub, something like that.
Yeah, maybe it is looking after the ecosystem. You got a point, Sarah.
That's just better
I say we mulch the birds.
You can go back across to the
I'm not going
the
to
particularly
get
ugly
involved.
lady.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
pretty close
Yeah.
by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's industry. And,
Turns back around.
oh no.
Hello.
Quite like breaking down industry.
Looks at you.
Hey, if it damages the kingdom, I'm into it.
She looks at you and sort of just tries to touch your beard.
Oh,
Yeah.
Just has a little sort of stroke of it.
excuse me. Unwanted physical content.
You gonna go and see the biddy?
I did. Who is the biddy? Does the biddy run the farm?
She's quite the lady.
Is she? To be honest, I'm
You'd
not
like her.
really here to seek companionship. We're just kind of passing through at the moment. But I've just got some questions about the field of
Death.
birds. Oh yeah. What is
Don't worry
it?
about
Then we
that.
never saw
Don't
him
worry about
again.
it.
She's come of age.
Who's come of age?
The biddy.
Oh God, this sounds disturbing.
She's looking to bear a child.
Oh God,
Oh.
of course it is. not interested at the moment about this.
Maybe one of your friends.
Possibly, yes. Who's good to speak to in this town? Maybe not about the biddy.
Biddy.
Just about this farming project. What is this? This is the ecological centre of the sign at the
And she's
door.
quite revolting. She's a very unattractive lady, extraordinarily unattractive.
It's the letterbox
And-
lady.
She,
That's the bus driver from South Park.
yeah, she's. You want information?
Please.
It said on the sign, didn't it?
Yes.
We're gonna have to see the biddy.
Which you can show where the biddy is. Quite important.
Oh. She points over yonder way,
Yonder
and
way.
there's a building that's got some kind of a sign sort of hanging out the front of it. You can't make it
Yeah.
out sort of on an angle from where you are. She just points just in there.
See, this is what we should have been doing in the first place instead of going in and
Yeah.
getting involved in wrecking some farming.
I'll start
I know
walking my
Dragon
way
Farm,
over.
people
I'm
are
gonna
liberating
I am going to look for a
birds
child
in
running
terrible
past that I can
condition.
call over because generally you get the most sense.
Bloody Malcolm over there.
Get the most sense out of children in these places.
I quite
They seem
like
to tell the
deliberation.
truth. So I walk my way-
There's a
walk
child
my way.
around.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
you can grab a child. Well, not grab one.
Yeah.
You could if you want. But
Yeah, but yeah, not just snatch one.
yeah.
No.
We did once have a boy member who slapped a child in public.
It did happen.
And,
Was that in this campaign?
That's lost
No,
minds.
No, I was going to
Lost
say
Minds.
I wasn't a part of that party at that point.
suffice to say, it didn't go down well.
I can imagine.
Hit
Yeah,
him with a sword!
I don't plan to accost nobody. Just want some information.
Oh dear.
Hello.
Hello.
You're a very old child.
I'm a gnome.
We always think that of him as well.
Have you heard of gnomes?
Oh yeah.
Far away. On the other side of the
Is that why you're so small? 'Cause you're far away.
very far away. Yeah. When I get close, whoa, I'm enormous.
Are you a boy?
Yes, the beard.
You should go and see the biddy.
Oh, there we go.
Can you
Even the children are on it.
Bloody God. I feel like punching him now, but I'm not going to.
Just the slap.
What's this? What are the birds? What's going on here?
Only with the left hand.
The spectacled wrens.
Spectacled wrens. Yeah, what about them? I see they're just being culled by the looks of it.
And then one of the other ladies comes by and says, "No, no, then, no. Go and see the biddy, love." She takes the girl's hand and sort of walks her away.
What happens to all of them?
Yeah, so I'm thinking I'm either
Is there
pulled
another
off
field?
in-
Uncomfortable! Uncomfortable!
Too close!
It's these chickens.
Where are all the clothes?
Gary?
Right. I'm going to start walking to the biddy, but before I walk to the biddy, I'm going to record a message into some stones
Oh.
So hopefully, I don't know if they're even going to hear it because I'm going to have to throw it near the walls of this squawking cacophony of kind of battery farmed
Well, no, I don't know.
things. Yes.
Don't know who to support.
And just to let them know that I've gone to see the biddy. But don't return. I've gone to see the biddy.
Yeah.
Not to see the pity.
The wonderful
And
biddy of wherever
Come
we
save
are.
me, because I might be getting molested.
Better hope these guys find the stone.
yeah.
Back over to Thorinir then, and you guys. Thorinir, you were approaching.
One of us get hit in the back of the head with a stone.
I was planning to throw it at basically where me and Thorinir were stood at the fence, just kind of looking. That was the area which I've assumed Thorinir is going to come back the way he came, and hopefully when he crosses over, he may hear something. That's where I've thrown it anyway.
No problem.
Well, he's dug his heels in. He's on full, like, I'm chained to this nuclear power plant protest.
Love
right
it.
now.
Yeah. So you walk up close to this thing, and clearly she looks at you, and you realise she's actually wearing some kind of metallic goggles as well. And it looks
Just
like
as the birds.
she's wearing some metallic goggles, and
Queen of the birds.
it's possible that actually when you were seeing that dark half of the face, it looks maybe like it's either some kind of makeup or it's actually part of her skin. It's not like a helmet or a hat or anything like that. She clanks a few levers, twists a few dials, and the machine just suddenly grinds to a halt. The smoke evaporates into the air, and she does something else, and the back or the front panel of this dreadnought-like contraption opens up, and there's a couple of steps which sort of come with it, so that she can walk down to the ground.
Is it a Warhammer reference for anybody that might want to Google to get an idea of what this dreadnought thing?
It's of that nature.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
it's
yeah.
of that nature.
nature.
Yeah. Or picture the Matrix battle of that place.
Oh yeah.
Zion.
Battle of Zion.
Yeah.
Zion, yeah. Zion.
Picture them.
All
Yeah.
the loaders from Alien.
Yeah.
All the loads, yeah.
Yeah.
First.
Exactly.
She steps down. She's wearing kind of some either feathered or furred, large, long brown coat. She's got these white pendant earrings, these goggles which she's now dropped down to her neck. Looks to be face paint. That's your best guess as to what's on her face. But it's very specifically the top half of her face, just night black. One eye.
Mad Max. We've stepped into Mad Max.
One eye seems to be damaged in some way, whether she's blind in it or you're not quite sure, but there's clearly some damage to one of her eyes.
Chicken foot sticking out of it.
And her other, and then she steps down. She's wearing kind of quite thick, heavy leather boots, and she steps down. She's quite muscular as well. And she's clearly hot, sweaty. Didn't look particularly comfortable in there, it's quite, she's
Took
quite
the fur coat off.
looks like quite a physical workout in there.
As she approaches you, she's picking up birds at random and just pointing, chopping them back down.
Gotta fill the corner.
Yeah.
She steps down and she just looks at you and just smiles.
Oh dear.
He's actually done it.
Yeah.
He's perfected it.
You're going in next. That's what's happening.
What's going on?
And so, as you say, you would have to be. I won't make you do it, but you would have to be bellowing at the top of your lungs. Because these birds are still so loud, even though the machine is now powered down, those sounds have drowned out.
I'll just give it the light.
Come with me! And she sort of gestures to walk out of the field. It's a bit loud here! And yeah,
What are you talking about?
she starts to step just away, exiting the bird area. Do you follow her?
I do. I'm going to shout, get out while you can, and throw.
And you heading like in these
We'll-
guys' direction?
We'll intercept
Okay.
whichever direction they
Yeah,
end
yeah,
up going in.
Unless one of us should go after Zolan.
You want to go after Zolan?
I think one of us should. If I was going to send one of us off to be molested, it wouldn't have been Zolan. It would have been you.
I don't want to be molested. Okay, I'll go after Zolan. I'll head off in the general direction that Zolan went off in.
Okay, fine. So I'm comfortable after a brief moment or two you come across the message. If you just recite the message, please, Solon.
I've gone to see the biddy. If you can't find me, I'm being molested. Send help.
Okay. I'll pick up the rock and stick it in my pocket.
Okay, no problem.
It continuously plays. It does not stop. It continuously plays the message.
Do you put these messages on special rocks, or do you just pick up a rock?
Just a rock.
So after
Yeah.
about 10 yards of walking along with this thing constantly going in my
Yeah.
pocket, I'm just going to sling it over.
Yeah, launcher. Yeah.
Fine. Yeah. And as you do so, you walk forward a few more steps, and another lady sort of looks round to where the sound's coming from and says, "Someone say something." So, yeah, this lady with the dark face paint and the goggles, she exits. She strides through these birds. A couple of them probably. She's not quite as dainty as you are, Thoria, trying to carefully not injure them. Sort of strides through them and starts to make her way to the edge of the field. Eventually, she'll reach the perimeter, and you can intercept there. And Thoria, you're
A bit slow because I'm asking all to please move out of the way.
yeah, please.
One at a time.
Excuse me.
So she sort of gets to the
One
end.
like
Still
that,
got this
common.
big, still got this cacophony of bird sound. But she now reaches the edge. Hi there.
Hello.
Come on.
Excuse me.
Get out where you can. Fly. You fly.
She looks human, or that's what her ears lead you to believe. And she said that in Elvish. I'll point out.
Sure.
She said that in Elvish. And Silden, how elven does he look? 'Cause he's half elf, isn't he?
If you're human, you'll probably look fairly elvish.
Yeah.
To a human, you probably look elvish.
Yeah.
To an elf, you probably look human.
Sure.
So it's
Yeah.
bang on the awkward middle.
Yes, yeah. What brings you to Rasna Salhathna?
We're just travellers trying to get out of here, if nothing else.
Oh, well, you've ended up at the arse end of nowhere, haven't you?
Pretty much. It seemed that way. We're trying to get a ticket as far out of here as we can, but it seems like we're going in the right direction.
It's unusual to have someone walk right up to the middle of the field like that.
Have I got there yet?
You're probably getting there, yeah. I'm happy you've arrived, yeah.
What the bloody hell are you doing?
Oh, we're farming.
Farming animals?
Yeah, this is the agricultural nexus, you see.
What does that mean? Sorry, I'm a city boy. I'm not entirely sure what any of this means.
Well, we're preparing the birds for export,
Export. Where to?
wherever the elves need.
Right, I see.
But these animals look bred for slaughter.
Yeah, that's right. Now, I've never seen someone that looks quite like you.
Well, I'm the animal slaughter police, in fact.
That is true.
And,
I can vouch for it.
I'm gonna wink at Silden because
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, I'm picking up some tips about lying.
I saw you wink.
No, he's got a nervous tick.
Okay.
It's when he's particularly angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so there's lots of people around. You're kind of. I think you're going to go and see the biddy.
Yeah, we've heard that.
But yeah, I'm just obviously.
Well, I mean, just explain what's happening here. You have a load of innocent animals,
Spectacled wrens.
innocent spectacle wrens,
Yeah.
and you're just Murdering them?
Well, preparing, using the really big, hot, loud, sharp, and moving beast harvester.
The beast harvester.
Write that down.
Beast.
Yeah.
Presumably there are many models. Not all of them are big, loud, sharp, and hot.
It's the only one I know of actually.
Right,
It was
okay.
made by the gnomes.
Of course it was.
It's quite, it's pretty amazing.
You were controlling it from that golem contraption, were you?
Yeah, you can have a go. Do you want to go?
Oh, I'll be alright for the minute.
I'd love a
Yeah.
go.
Oh, dear.
Well, you can have a go if you want.
Yeah.
Love a go.
You must have some kind of writ or permit for the export, no?
Well, just gets collected from.
Yeah.
It's pretty, to be honest with you. Okay, who are you guys, by the way? Sorry, I'm Feidenreich.
Feidenreich. That's a lovely name.
Thoronir.
Hello, Thorinir. And forgive me, are you an elf?
Oh, I am an elf. Yes, I am an elf. I'm one of the higher wood elves.
A wood elf? Wow, I've never met one before.
We're on tour at the moment, an animal cruelty tour. We're diverting exports and coming up with alternate strategies for income and prosperity.
That's right.
And which animals are you cruel to?
Well, we're cruel to none actually. We're on the other side. We're the kindness to animal group.
Well, I would say that I appreciate what you're saying. Their deaths are very, very brief.
I can see that. I can see
They
that.
don't suffer.
And
Remain, if anything.
evidently they do not know what's going on.
That's quite right.
That's quite right. But
Yeah.
where do your exports go to?
I think they mostly go to Equa. I would never get asked these questions before.
Yeah. I can see that. They, what are they... Presumably they're for food.
Yeah. Honestly, they're not very tasty. I've tried them. But they have some nutrients.
Right.
They keep people alive. They can sustain people. But to be honest with you, it's pretty disgusting stuff. But I'll tell you what. Just 2 years ago, before it was the Nexus, all these... Look at this. She just looks down to the ground and she sifts like a big handful of this slurry-ish mud bird shit. And within it is a small little jumping fish.
Gamble the legs.
Oh no.
And Thorinir, you will certainly recognise them from your time at Broga. These just turned up 2 years ago. Out of nowhere. And if you mix them in, you get a bit of them when you mix them into the harvester. Tastes so much better than it used to. I swear it's these dudes.
Did you save the gamble legs?
I can't remember what we did.
You-
I think we liberated the gambles.
You liberated them, yeah? to be farmed in another place.
Yeah.
This is where they ended up.
Travelled a long way, they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Travelled a very long way.
I feel like this is going to be never ending now.
Mm.
But so, have you ever met a gamble?
A gamble. Yeah, someone said these are gambles.
Gamble.
Sorry?
Gamble.
I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're saying.
These are the eggs of the gamble, if I'm remembering
And
that.
these are the actual gambles.
Oh,
And the eggs were little, like, golf ball type things. Or maybe bigger. I can't remember how big they are.
Tilden wasn't there.
So I wasn't there. I've heard stories of
so many
farm
seasons ago
talk.
now. So I'm imagining something very big. What am I imagining right now?
There were a few different creatures that you met in Broga. The gamble were very small, little, fish-like, kind of mud-skippery type things that lived in the mud. And they laid caviar-like fish eggs.
We just told them to go, right, and they went.
Nollis told them to
Nollis
go.
told them
yeah.
all to go, and they all ran away.
Yeah. About 2 years ago, which is a similar time to
Yeah.
when these arrived.
Yeah. Ah, yes, I remember
We
now.
bankrupt a small town to
Yes.
save them.
Now they're here.
And it's all going to happen.
Right, so now I'm just going to quickly converse with my friend here and just explain what's going on.
Okay,
Like sneaky.
we're good at that.
And that we've already liberated these little gambles, and now we have to liberate the birds as well and the gambles.
All in one go.
Just unsure how we're going to do this without our friend.
Okay.
But
Do we wait until the dead of night and come back here? And...
I think we play it cool right now.
Mm.
I don't think, if they're going to keep killing for a second, I don't think we're going to lose in the grand scheme of things
Do you think?
many more. I think
We could check out the machine and make sure that it doesn't run anymore.
it depends if you are adept with sabotage.
I'm sure I can figure something out. I'm sure I can figure out how to make the thing. Yeah, we'll have a go with that machine.
We'd love a tour of the machine.
Yeah. It sounds very, I don't know, inspiring.
Just to see how it works, really.
Yeah. My city life
Yeah,
has
all right.
robbed me
It's
of
quite
things.
an impressive operation you've got here.
Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, sure. And she sort of walks you back towards.
They've got a pair of overalls, have you? Or a nice pair of boots.
What is Selden wearing? I know.
He's wearing like dyed black leather,
Oh dear.
studded leather, yeah.
Yeah.
Black studded leather armour
Okay. Yeah,
and a black cloak.
that's right. Yeah.
Oh dear.
The opposite.
No, you're not
colour.
worried, are you?
Yeah, a little bit.
You'll be all right. Want a piggyback?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
All right. So
Yeah, tuck
she's
his
quite
robe
burly.
into his
you know,
trousers.
she looks very capable of being able to give you a piggyback.
Yeah, amazing. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah, so
I'm not a proud man.
fine. She's going to piggyback you
Nice.
into the field.
Yeah.
Thorny, you're going to stroll back through. I think at this point we'll take a quick break. And
sounds good.
We'll come back in around 5 minutes' time. So we'll see you at about. I'll make that about 8 minutes past our time.
A lot of fun.
We
Ah,
will
marvellous.
see you. Hang on, let me get the right one. We will see you in around about 5 minutes' time. See you shortly. Darrell. So while we're waiting for Selden or Ollie, we're going to go to 1 minute with Zolan. So Zolan,
Oh, is it?
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
what,
well,
we're
I
getting
catch
raped? Is that what we're
Yeah,
going to do that? Did we in character?
no, we may as well return to the biddy scene.
Oh, yes, okay.
So
Put my phone away.
let's have a slight music change here.
Oh, God, is it nefarious?
Sexy.
Ooh,
Wow, wow, wow.
gentle breeze.
Ooh.
You've reached the building, and there's a sign at the front, swinging just gently in the breeze. There's no writing on it at all. You can't read anything. It looks like there should be some kind of image or writing. You'd expect there to be. There isn't. There's nothing on it at all. The door
And where have
to.
you been?
Fancy impromptu plumbing.
It's alright. We're just over with Zolan.
Oh, I see. I'm missing the good bit.
Yeah,
Apologies.
it's fine. The door to this building is pretty modest. Nothing spectacular about it. Pretty straightforward hut, not dissimilar to other ones here. And the door is just slightly ajar.
Could go and just rap my knuckles on the door a couple of times. Hello?
Come in.
No, thank you. Can you come to the door, please?
Oh, dear.
After a moment or two, the door opens, and it's a very pale-faced and very tall, similar height to Thornir. Very tall.
Cool. It's not going to work, this, is it?
Long,
You never know.
very, very pale blonde hair
Yeah.
down to her lower back, like very long, slightly wavy. She's beautiful. She's wearing a green long dress which is split down the centre right to the navel and held up by the, I believe it's referred to as a halter neck.
I would not know.
I'm testing our dress knowledge.
I'm going to Google
I
it.
believe it's a halter neck. Whatever a halter neck is, that's what it is.
Okay.
Or
And
the opposite to a turtleneck.
and it's floor length, like a floor length skirt, which reveals some of her leg.
Ooh.
And she,
Only that big.
your estimation
Okay.
is that she might be a wood elf.
Oh!
Because she looks quite. There's similarities to Thorinir
Beautiful.
that you haven't that you haven't seen. You know, just, she's notably more like Thorinir than any other person that you've met previously.
I absolutely just relax a little bit. I'm like, great! I'm not getting raped today.
Do you say that out loud?
No, but I can clearly just see me relax a little bit. I'm like, oh, great! I can quickly divert any unwanted attention somewhere else. Yes. Can we have a chat, please?
Yeah, of course. Come in.
I will enter.
Malcolm, you're not too far behind.
Mm-hmm.
You probably just sort of come around the corner just as you see Zolan go into the building. So you're probably 100 foot away from him or so,
Okay.
across the square. You see where he's gone, but you're just a little bit further away. So presumably you're heading in that direction.
Yeah, I'll head in that direction, and at some point I will tap on the door and say, "Zola, you in there?" But I'll let you decide at which point in their conversation I do that.
Sure. So she turns away from you, and even as the the plutonic character that Zolan is, you can't help but be distracted by her long, graceful legs, her slender physique, her beautiful, long, flowing hair. She's a very attractive lady.
That's not how the gnomes like them. Not stout enough for me.
I
I can see the beauty.
Yeah, you can appreciate the
I can
beauty,
appreciate,
even
yeah.
if you're
Yeah.
if you prefer a slightly different.
Yes, please. Yes.
She, as you come inside, it's very warm, cozy. It's nothing dirty. It's a very well, very nicely arranged interior. There's some really, there's some. There's a little fire in the corner of the room that's warming the room. The smoke escaping up an opening in the top of like a chimney, but more of a hole at the top. So it's quite a smoky environment. And she's got nice throws, nice, quite expensive cloth.
Yeah.
She's also got there's flowers around the room, and this is just it just feels nice, homely, comfortable, relaxing environment.
It's a trap I'm seeing straight through this. Why have you... What do you do here?
I'm just here.
What are you, bait? What are you? Yes, I see through this.
You see through what? They call me the biddy. The girl who is of that age
Oh yeah.
needs to.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah. What's your name?
Zolan. And did you have a real name, or did the biddy your name?
That's my name at the moment.
I'm just gonna start doing like that detective thing where you just start pacing around the room, just like opening drawers and looking in teapots as the conversation goes on. You know, just looking around. I think.
Sort of smiling and that.
Yeah, I'm just looking for the facade just to fail.
Drawer full of knives. Like,
I'm gonna light the pipe for sure. The pipe's gonna come out as well. Don't mind if I smoke. And I'm going to ignore. I said yes. I was going to smoke anyway. So,
Malcolm, you're probably about up to the doorway at this point in time.
Zolan, you in there?
We're expecting friends.
One of my accomplices. You'll get to the bottom of this. Malcolm,
Yeah.
come in.
Sure.
We're
Decent.
somewhere. Yes. Come on in.
Okay. I'll open the door.
Yeah, the door. You're greeted by that same environment that I described. Nice scent, very beautiful scent in here.
Nice throws.
Just a lovely, just beautiful, opulent, elegant environment. Modestly opulent. It's not like absurdly lavish and over the top. It's just she owns nice things, and it's cozy, warm. Completely different setting. The bird sounds don't seem to be in here. You know. Completely
Doesn't smell of bird shit.
doesn't smell bird shit. You know, even if you'd walked in from from anywhere, this would be a particularly nice environment. But the juxtaposition against where you've just come from is that much more, given what you've just seen.
I feel we may have chosen the wrong song.
What do you make of this beautiful woman, then, Malcolm? Looks rather like a trap to me.
Madam, are you a wood elf?
Yes.
Oh, we've got somebody who would like to meet you.
Well, I'm happy to say I'm enjoying meeting you.
I'm going to slam a hand on the table. Anything hard. And go, where are the men?
That's a good point.
It's a good
Bloody
question.
good point, yeah.
Good question. We haven't had any men in the village for quite a long time.
And why is that? Eh?
Where have they all gone?
Yeah. Is there any cupboards in here? Any wardrobes?
There's probably some drawers and some cupboards.
Well, I want to start, somewhere an assailant could be
you
hiding
can
in.
you can make an investigation roll if you don't have generally have a little.
As I'm looking around,
Yeah.
there be an assassin over here and open the cupboards.
Dresses.
I think it's a 16 for an investigation.
16.
16.
So she seems quite almost surprising, as you're observing this peculiar behaviour.
Yeah, I'm onto
She seems
her.
almost bizarrely relaxed. Some people would find that quite offensive, going through, pilfering, and rummaging through the house. But she's just sort of smiling and sort of enjoying what's going on. You don't find anything of note. There are more, feminine dresses, clothes, makeup, scents, different bits and pieces.
Starting
some
to
nice,
sweat ever so slightly.
nice possessions, but there's nothing untoward at this point.
How very unsettling.
So,
It only further affirms your guilt.
Basically, what's going through his mind at the moment.
what is this place? Not specifically this room. Kind of getting an idea what this room is, but what is this place? What?
It's called Rasna Salhafna.
And what does that mean?
This used to be a farm, and then the elves moved in, and it became a nexus, an agricultural nexus.
Agricultural nexus sounds a lot like farm to me. I mean, I've seen what's going on with the birds in the field up there, in the enclosure up there. That looks pretty much like some sort of farming to me. What do you call it? Animals up on the hill? What did I think they were called?
The hill maddocks.
The hill maddocks. You farm them as well?
Yeah, we farm the hill maddocks and the spectacled wrens.
Who's we?
The other women who work.
Do you run this operation?
No.
Where'd you get your wealth from then? Everybody else living in huts. You've got double glazing. I can't hear a thing.
I'm not from here originally. I'm a widow. I've come from another part.
I'll catch you in a minute. It's only a matter of time until she slips up.
Oh Lordy!
So you're
saying all this out loud, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought
She walks a bit closer, Malcolm, and she
takes a step.
she sort of it looks like she's sort of just sort of admiring your physique a little bit, and she's clearly being a little bit flirtatious in her mannerisms. So where have you come from?
Oh, lots of different places. We're just passing through. We were actually hoping to find somewhere that we could get some food and accommodation for the night, but it doesn't look like this is the place for that. So, who's in charge around here? Who's?
I've got a spare bed.
Be careful of these witches, Malcolm.
Does it sleep form?
Who's in charge around here? Here.
There's a lady, Baswald.
Baswald.
She'd be over on the hill, but
Over on the hill, up with the beaties.
yeah, but I mean, by all means, go and see her. But come back.
Where did you say the men were again?
The men aren't here anymore. There's nobody. I'm of age and I have no man.
You can leave.
And she holds your gaze as she says that.
Malcolm, very sweaty at this point. Zolan, I think we should go and find this
We should watch our backs.
Bascua and or just leave or something.
Yeah. I see through you.
No, don't know.
I'm a freaking combatant. I'm warning you. Anything goes on tonight, don't even bother.
Not going to be here tonight.
Yeah, don't even bother. Freaking. Just gonna ruffle through like 3 drawers. Anything incriminating? Slam them and leave.
Array of things.
Yeah, just nice things.
She just walks over to one of her sort of dress tables, and she's got like a little carafe bottle there, and she's got some kind of wine or spirit, and she just pours herself a little glass and takes a drink.
I'm going to leave now, Zolan.
Yes, let's go.
Thank you. We'll just go and see this boss lady, Bascua.
It's been a pleasure. If you'd like to find a companion, go and have a couple of days' walk. It's very suspect. Good day to you, madam.
Shall I pour one ready for you?
Malcolm!
No, come on! It's fine, thank
You're
you.
immortal, Peril.
No, it's fine, thank you. I'll just go and see how my friends are getting on. We'll see you later.
Does she have any twigs, this wood elf?
Oh.
She has. So interesting you say that. She actually has. As you look at her, she's actually got what seems to be a bit of ivy up her arm
Poison ivy.
on both sides. Both sides.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like a bit of ivy. Right, we're leaving.
Cut.
Leaving.
Just grabs your hand as you're sort of leaving. Just softly, not like roughly. Come back soon, Mel. We'll come back across into the cacophony of squawks.
leaving.
Go!
So yeah, she walks you back through this field, Feidenreich. She takes you back through this field up to the dreadnought next to this machine, which is now powered down. The smoke's sort of completely dissipated, but there's still that thick, oily smell, which you've smelling now for the first time over the bird shit.
God, it stinks here.
Yeah, and you can't. It's hard to talk now at this point, but she's given you some sort of as you're walking, she's sort of giving you some instructions loudly as to what to do with the handles.
Okay.
And she gestures as you get up to it and sort of offers either one of you into the dreadnought.
Over to you.
Can you hear anything?
No.
It is
Use
very
hand
tricky to
gestures.
communicate.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go in then, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you take the steps up, and twist around, and then position yourself in this. There's some kind of throw or cloth inside that tries to emulate a little bit of comfort, but it's not very comfortable in there. And she gestures towards a certain crank at the bottom near your waist that you need to pull. And if you do so,
I'm gonna crank it
yeah,
the wrong way, like an awkwardly wrong way.
trying to snap it in
Yeah.
the opposite direction. Okay.
Strength is not my forte.
Okay, you give me a strength check.
I'm just trying to like bend it or something so it doesn't work anymore. Don't know what I checked. 16.
Oh, good.
16.
Pretty good, yeah.
It feels like you maybe just giving it a slight bit of give. You know, it's sort of maybe it could be possible, but you haven't got the strength to do so.
Okay, well, plan B then.
And she sort of sees you doing it, and she sort of gestures, you know, the other way.
I'm still on her back.
I'm just going to be like,
Trying to keep out the band
and I'm going to whip out my
Oh no.
vial of water,
Oh. Yeah.
and I'm going to like tip it where I think it might break this thing. But trying to like pretend I'm like struggling with this hand.
If you can give me a sleight of hand roll, then to see how
Sure.
surreptitiously you can do that.
I think I've got a thing as well.
It's 21.
Okay, yep, so you can spill some water
Beauty.
into the machine. And fine, yeah, you've
Machine's
done
not
so.
electronic.
And does anything happen?
Well, you don't know without firing it up, right?
Yeah. Well,
Can I? How is this thing? Is any surface of it not sharp and pointy? Can I get on it?
The dreadnought itself we're talking about.
No, I
we're
mean
talking
the
about
machine.
God, don't turn it
the
on.
main.
There's going to be a ball.
There may be some surfaces that aren't, but you know, it's a ludicrous amount of pointy, sharp, razory, like arms
Yeah.
with different things as
I was
well as
wondering
the
if I
main
can
shredders.
get on it without standing in bird poo. It's my major.
Yeah,
Let's stand on the side of it.
you could probably stand on the side of it.
Yeah, I'll hop across.
Yeah,
And I'll have a little peep and see if there's anything that might.
sure. It's quite hot as you touch it.
How hot? Like how my hands are
melt.
burning.
Like it feels like maybe if you touched it a few minutes ago, it would have been too hot to touch.
Too hot to touch. Okay. So it deals with heat pretty well. What's is there any kind of like obviously important components that I could liberate?
So
That aren't covered in bits of chicken.
Yeah.
Red.
Or maybe a hole that I could pour something into.
there are some large. There are some things that look a little bit like. What's the right word? Like spouts. You know, like a train spout. Yeah,
Kind of spout.
some things look like spouts, and there are some canistery things.
Oh, I like that.
And
Canistery things, yeah.
yeah, and there are some. There probably are a few little holes and bits and pieces.
Canistery things that are presumably being filled, not. There's tubes going into them, not out of them.
There's some kind of a. Yeah, there's some kind of. There's some holding things in there. Yeah.
Also, the whole thing is painted bright yellow and has the elvish rune for cat on the side.
Let's have a look what I got. Is there any there's no kind of like panels or anything that I could get thieves' tools into and kind of jimmy it?
There's probably a panel there. Yeah.
Yeah, could I deliberately attempt mischievous breaking of this in a stealthy fashion?
Sure. If you give me an investigation roll to find if you can find to see if you can find an appropriate area.
While she's distracted trying to teach.
Because I have a more insane way of breaking it. But that's probably the most logical way first.
More insane way. Oh no. I like an insane way.
What did you want from me? Investigation?
Yeah.
Investigation. I'll give it a shot. Oh, it's a 19.
19. Okay. I'm comfortable. You can find a panel which you suspect might be removable. You know, it looks in some way hinged.
Yeah.
But sort of riveted down.
Cool. I can sleight of hand it if you just want me to use my thieves' tools.
If you give me your your dex. You're trying to do it sleight of hand specifically, and you should try and do it without her noticing. So if you give me a sleight of hand.
Or I can stealth it, it's up to you. I don't mind either way.
You can use, if you do, first of all give me a sleight of hand roll. Dexterity sleight of hand.
19.
19. And then give me a dexterity with thieves' tools proficiency if you are proficient.
I most certainly am. And that is... How do you use tools in D&D Beyond? Any ideas? I certainly don't know.
I don't actually know.
Because I've got skills, but I can just give you a stealth roll to keep us up and running. But there must be a. So I've got +3 prof bonus, and it'll be whatever thieves' tools come off, which will probably dexterity, right? Which would be.
I believe so.
+6, so it'd be the same as sleight of hand. Let's do that then. That keeps us up and running. I'll have to juggle it. It's 15.
15. You can jimmy it sort of partially open. It looks like if there's 2 rivets holding it down, you can get one of them off. So you get a bit into the panel without having the whole thing off.
Cool, I'll have a peep in there.
Yeah. As you said, sort of this little puff of steam, really hot, sort of very, very hot steam. Brief. It's like putting your hand over a kettle briefly. And there's clearly something creating temperature in there.
Cool. So I will go into my pack, take a look at what I got, and make a quick decision of whether I want to fill it full of ball bearings or fill it full of flask oil, both of which would probably be pretty spectacular. So I'm going to go with a full 2 pounds of flask oil.
Okay.
And I'm going to fill that bad boy up. and hope it doesn't immediately explode, which it could well do.
I like the sound of this.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Just as you stick your hand in, Thorny gets the leather. Ah, yes!
Boom!
Okay. So yeah, you pour it all in. Doesn't seem like she's noticed because she's sort of looking at Thorinir at the moment.
Oh, I just can't.
Yeah.
What? 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 I can't hear you! Sideways!
Try and stick the panel back on.
Yep.
Not worry too much if I can't do it quickly.
Okay, it's a little bit loose perhaps, but yeah, it's...
And then I will jump onto the floor behind her, making it look as if I've fallen off her back.
Okay.
Because she's looking the other direction.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, I've just fallen off her back. That's all the time. I haven't been on there doing anything.
Turns around. She sort of smiles. Just gives you a hand up.
Covered in bird poo.
Yeah.
Like, you were supposed to hold me. You've got bird poo all over my cloak. I'm from the city. I don't understand your ways.
Yeah. And she's trying one more time to indicate how to do the thing.
I'll be like, I can't do it.
And she just pulls, she grabs your hand, pulls you back down. Okay. And sort of, come on.
Well,
Yeah. And then...
Shall I give it a go?
Are you gesturing too?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
So yeah, you can clamber up to the
Yeah,
dreadnought.
I'll clamber on in.
Yeah. Fine. And gives you the same instruction. Gives you the same instruction to clamber up.
I'll ignite it. No, I'll pull it. It's like, I don't know what that means.
So you pull the crack and it raises the dreadnought, and you're closed in there. It's quite tight, and the way in which you're held is your arms are held in such a way such that each one can pull about 3 or 4 different handles and dials. But other than that, they're quite restricted in this position. They're relaxed, like they're on a. There's somewhere for them to rest, but you've got this amount of movement, on either side. And yeah, it feels like you're in a giant, great robot, and we're in barely not robot style, although we met some in.
We're keeping this.
Yeah. And she points towards your left hand, and then sort of points towards each lever one at a time, and then says,
2. Number 2.
pull the first one twice.
I'm going to pull lever number 2.
Okay, so you pull lever number 2, and
can I move my legs and stuff? Do I feel like I'm
barely? You can rearrange them just slightly, but they're pretty much
it's not
held
move
in.
the legs of the.
No, it doesn't. You try it; it doesn't seem to do that.
Cool. Okay.
So when you do that number 2, you feel the whole this whizzing and whirring, and the whole structure that you're in starts to sort of activate.
Awesome.
Clearly it gets sort of chugging a bit and it's vibrating very heavily next with you in it.
Okay. Step 1 done. I haven't killed any birds yet.
Then she points to the same hand.
3. Third lever. I'm going to pull the third lever.
Yeah. And as you do so, the main central machine starts to engage and crank and shake and whir just like it was doing previously.
Wow. I'm thinking, shit. A little bit of water didn't do anything.
And then she points to the left hand.
Okay.
And she says...
Oh, no. 1, 2, 3, it's up to you. Okay. Left hand, I'm going to pull number 2. Go for the middle. That's always right.
Sure. And the pointers and yankers and shredders start pointing and yanking and shredding, just sort of engaging.
Oh, that's great. Well done. Turn that off. Number 3, give that a pull. It's got to be the oven.
Number 3.
I think the oven's what's going to make it blow up.
So you press number 3, and at that point something's taking place in the centre of the thing, and it seems to be still doing its whirring and baking and whatever the hell it's doing, but it starts to splutter and cough.
I'm going to be looking at her, trying to be like, is this right?
Yeah,
doesn't seem right.
She looks at it and she's like, she's sort of putting her hand up to like stop. It's
keep it on. Yeah, keep it on. I'm going to pull some other levers.
Sure. Yeah. And then the main front whirrers start whirring and chopping. Like, you're quite close to this, Thorny. Birds' feathers start flying up in the air. And after a few more seconds, it always feels like this pressure cooker. You feel like sort of boiling and baking. And at one point in time, you're not sure it was about to explode. At that point in time, it just goes, and the machine just shuts down. The whirrs and yankers are still going though.
Is that supposed to happen?
She's like, and then she sort of indicates for you to open the thing.
I'm going to deliberately look like I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Even though I know what lever it is. So I'm going to pull a couple of others.
So they react, and they sort of the machine chokes a little bit.
Yeah.
At some point, some of the whirrs stop or start, depending on which you push.
And then eventually I'll pull the lever to get me out.
No problem.
I think there's a far left, right?
Yeah, and she lets you come down, and she's like, head in her hands, and this sort of.
I'm guessing I can't get a piggyback out of it.
Sorry, will give you a piggyback after that.
And she sort of looks at the machine, and she just spends a little bit of time up next to the.
I think that's broken.
After the dreadnought, and she's sort of trying to work out what's going on. She looks back at the machine and sort of studies it a little bit, and she's like, she's head in her hands. And she's like, gestures to you two to sort of come with her out of the field.
Yeah. I have spoken to a few names. I can take a look at it if you want.
Yeah, and it's still very loud, so you sort of have shouting this. Is like, come on!
Okay, right.
And she sort of pulls you back.
Mightily impressive, though. Very impressive piece of kit.
Out of that field. We'll come back across to you two. You're just sort of leaving the biddy's abode.
Is there a well or a trough of water or anything anywhere?
The urinal.
Cold shower.
Outside the...
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm just going to splash considerable amount of water over my face. Just... right.
I have a tub, if you like.
She's still with us? What are you doing with us?
She's just at the doorway. It's just Malcolm's
Oh, fine, thank you. Just splash cold water.
It's definitely water, right? You ever seen that video?
I'm hoping it's water.
That bloke at Glastonbury, when they were doing they were filming with like a camera, and a woman was doing an interview, and a bloke come out and he was like, oh, there's a camera, and he went to wash his hands, but he went into the male's urinal, picked up like the urinal soap like that. Oh, I'm on camera, better wash my hands, and walked off. It was filthy. That's what's happened to Malcolm.
No, it hasn't. No, this is water. It's a water drop.
That's right then.
And we're going to head... What we're going to do? Head up to see the boss lady, or we're going to go back over to the guys?
I was thinking about going back to the guys because she's definitely going to get some action if she can. We need to warn them.
Warn them.
Isn't it?
You're immortal, Peril.
There's an assassin. I'm certain there is an assassin somewhere. We are going to die. They're going to try and kill us at some point today.
I think we should introduce Thorin.
Do you think? No. It's going to be some blood ritual. Yes. As Stilton says, there's going to be chaos spawn.
Yeah,
something's going to happen if we go through with this.
Sorry, it's got tasty blood.
I think yes, this is probably a terrible, terrible place of doom. So
God, where are the men?
I don't really want to know anymore.
They're these chickens, I'm certain. Turn them into chickens. Feed the frickin' the equins. They're barbaric people. They're barbaric people.
Well, they're just people.
Are
Mostly.
they? Not what I heard in the Gnomelands. But then everyone's a barbarian outside the Gnomelands.
So we're heading out on our way back towards these two.
Okay, no problem. Doesn't take you too long to get there. And in fact, probably about the same time, we'll just change the music, and probably about the same time that you two exit the field, with a quite dejected Weidenreich. She gets the edge just as you two kind of return. The four of you conjoin once more, and she's like,
Does it do that fairly often, does it?
No, well, yes.
Yeah?
But,
Surely you'll be have it up and running by the end of the afternoon, I imagine. How long does it normally take to...
it's not so much how long it takes as who I've got to deal with now.
Oh, I see. Is that some kind of engineer of some description, I imagine?
Yeah, Fina.
Fina. Right.
Fina.
FEMA, as in...
Fip. Thema.
Fip Fema. That's an interesting name.
Yeah.
She local, is she?
Yeah, she's a gnome.
Ah, I see. Yeah. Lives in the village, I presume. Fairly close.
Yes.
She'll get it up and running, though, pretty quick, I imagine. We can have another go, what, within the hour, maybe?
Yeah. Well, a bit longer than that, but...
Yeah? Maybe
yes.
tomorrow, then.
Well, I'll go and find her.
Okay.
At this point, we arrived.
And you've just arrived. She hasn't seen... She's seen you briefly, did
Possibly,
she?
yeah.
Just maybe
Yeah.
disappearing into this. Oh, pleased to meet you.
Zolan?
Oh, hi, Zolan.
Who are you?
My name's Feidenreich. You don't know Fipfina, do you?
No. Do you know where all the men are?
We don't get many gnomes round here.
No, we don't get anybody that talks sense in this town apart from you. Where are the men?
The men either... Well,
This pint. Where are the men?
Thorinid. I'm Thorinid. Thorinid, you don't have female settlements where you're from. Settlements don't need males.
Well, they were asking for men on the door.
Well, yeah, but...
We've been in and seen the biddy.
She's a wood elf.
God. Oh.
A wood elf?
No, she's she's rather beautiful.
Yeah, quite a comely wood elf.
This one definitely a trap.
she'd like you.
It's a trap. What's the deal?
Gnomes. I'm sorry.
What's the deal?
They're looking for men.
Idiots by the looks of it.
We have no men, so
What?
we'll die out if we have no men.
We'll go find men.
Then where are all the children coming from?
But this is where we work.
We'll just move where you work.
Presumably there were men at some point.
There were... Yeah, the children are from passers-by, mostly.
Just leave the children with you?
Yeah,
Why?
because, well, would you want to spend your time working the lands here when you could go and live in Equa?
Fair. It is pretty great. Better than this. No, I mean, this is charming. Charming. Yeah. The machine in particular, lovely. If you don't mind, I'm probably going to clean bird poo out of my robe. So all the men have gone to Equa.
Some died.
Military, presume? Military action?
No,
Turn into wrens, maybe?
no. They, yeah, there was something, a lot of them got sick, and for whatever reason, the men died and we survived.
How long ago was that?
A few years, the last few years it's been happening.
Interesting.
Can I ask you a question? If the well had dried up in this town, would you stay here and write on the door, water needed? Or would you go and find water?
Look, when I started working here,
Sheldon, you're being pretty rude. The
So-
woman's obviously lost valuable people. To
it's
her
fine.
community.
I lived in the gnome lands for a while.
Ah, okay, fair enough.
No, they're all like this.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. She's actually pretty
Where's
tame.
that man? Let's avoid.
Yeah, let's not go there.
Yeah.
You know?
We thought he was especially stubborn.
No, he's probably at the lesser end.
Big X.
So he gets through the no man's.
He's yeah, I spent time in the whirling metal area.
Do you?
Yeah.
You're a fantastic area, that. I've heard of it, never been.
Are you looking for a life partner? By any chance?
Am I?
Yeah.
Not this one, no. No.
I'm a catch.
Probably get your machine up and running.
Even the biddy might struggle there.
Whoa.
No, she seemed quite taken with him.
I've seen the biddy, yeah.
I went to the gnomish lands. I used to be from somewhere not too far from here. And then displaced like everybody else, and went off to study with the gnomes. It seemed a better option than anything around here.
You're a lady of learning.
Well, I'm an engineer.
You
Yeah.
have a newfound respect. Are you an engineer? Oh, sorry, madame. Mademoiselle! I did not realise you were an educated lady.
And came back and what was once a little farm had been taken over, and this is where I was positioned to work.
So you're sent here on this kind of a farming conscript then?
Well, when you've got certain skills, particularly in the Gnomish lands, you're taken to be put to use in
So
Asher.
you're apprenticed to this gnome that runs the machinery here, or
He's not my... No, I'm not apprenticed to. We've got different jobs. We both look after the machine. I work the machine, and she looks after it.
Deputy to the manager.
Yeah, if you think Zolan's bad, no offence.
Yes, we do. So
Used to it now. It's all right.
So yeah. If you could, obviously, it's not. We're looking for men because we'd like the population to survive,
Yeah.
and
And there's payment, I presume. Somebody said silver.
yeah, if that's what you're interested in,
Well, who's not?
Silver?
Yeah.
yeah, or
Well, I don't know how much he's worth.
I'd
Yeah.
just like to point out that the one who's after it is a wood elf.
Ah, not my type.
How far away is like Equa on the map? Well, maybe I'm going to get the map out right now.
No, don't
Yeah,
tell
Apparently the
what
map.
map?
Well, I'm thinking map, but
We want map.
from our,
Yeah,
you know, like
Ixnay on the app.
like, how far is Equa?
days away.
I mean,
North of here, perhaps.
it does seem absolutely preposterous that you will wait for men
I
to
don't
arrive.
know. West, I think.
West. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, we're not just waiting; we're working. This is my job. It's better than not having a job.
How far south have you been from here?
I don't know if I've been south, to be honest.
Never been further south from here.
I don't think so. Gnomes are to the east.
That's right. Cool, that's fine. I'm just curious. I've always wanted to see the southern wall, you know? Really get myself out there. Maybe skip the whole kingdom altogether. Just wondering if you know anyone who's gone that way.
As nearly anyone here will tell you, if you want to know something, the biddy knows pretty much everything, as far as we understand.
So we've got to go and talk to the mating pair, so to speak. Kind of a sex for information kind of operation.
If you want to put it that crudely.
Can I just... perfect gentleman, I'm not going to say that. I retract my previous statement.
Look, I'm going to go see Fifina.
I struggle with that name as well.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's difficult to pronounce.
Because she's still talking, all this is Elvish,
Yeah.
the whole time.
Your Elvish is very good. You picked that up in the No Lands.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Not many people speak common around here, yet we're far away from...
Are you talking to her in Elvish?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're in Elven territory, aren't we?
Yeah, that's good.
Common, you know, She looks at your ears again. Yeah, you know, maybe I'm common. But my skills are valued.
Yeah.
Keeps me from being a target.
Absolutely. I respect it. Well done. Got to be speaking the right tongue, haven't we? Keep them happy.
He's covered in crap.
Yeah.
I'm still
Literally covered in filth.
Yeah.
I'm still scouting the horizon for assassins. People
Hello.
just peering around the buildings, like keeping a watch on us.
Is she, look, I'm going to go and grab Fitfina. I got it right
Well
that
done.
time.
Well done.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want to... Well, what do you want to...
Well,
Yeah.
we were sort of hoping to get some provisions and maybe a bed for the night.
Do you have any food that isn't mulched bird?
Some people... I tell you what, the eggs of these things are quite nice.
That'd be marvellous. Yeah, maybe we should scoop some of those up. Do they just lay them where they stand, or is this
Yeah,
a
it's
barn?
in the crap.
Oh, right, lovely.
Yeah.
Is there
If you wouldn't mind, Mark.
is there by any chance is there an inn around anywhere near here or a staging post?
You know what I'm going to say, don't you?
Yeah, we do. The only place you can stay is with the biddy.
Is
Too much.
Yeah.
We've got too much dignity for this, right? Have we not?
Pete's sleeping in a tent. She's not predatory, is she?
She's actually... You could do a lot worse.
Yeah.
You could. You should. Yeah, I mean, she's. But I'm not going there.
No.
Oh, strength in numbers. She can't kill us all. Oh dear.
Let me know how you get on. And she just starts to head off.
I think Thorinir should meet the biddy. I think so.
Well, it's been a number of years since I've seen a wood elf.
Yeah.
You
Well,
could
what
just
else
go,
are we-
wow, wow.
We just need to. Well, we.
You've got big families, so wood elves.
It's obviously a little later into the evening at this
Yeah,
point.
we're
It's
gonna
sort of
have to stay somewhere.
dusk.
We are.
We need to. I need to get out of this shit-covered road.
Actually, if you just stand still for about an hour, it'll dry hard, and I can just give you a whack with this stick.
Flake it all off.
Yeah.
I'm not used to living in these barbaric conditions. I've stayed in a tent for the last couple of years, so I don't want to. I'm pretty loath to go back to the idea.
I'm very wary.
We need some food. We need to figure out where we're going, and then we can get shot of here after freeing a lot of birds. Then we get out of here. But then I feel like now I've blown up their machine and their whole livelihood. But maybe if we free the birds and they go somewhere else, maybe it'd be a good thing for them.
It's about balance.
Okay.
Thorinir's talking now. Obviously, not Carl. It's not like I started out as Carl. So morphed into.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if they're used for food, people need to eat. I understand that. But this
Doesn't
seems
seem right.
a little unbalanced.
Yeah.
This is industry, this is.
In what?
Industry.
Sounds barbaric.
Well, it's you collect the barbarism into a central location. There's no more
Like a
barbaric...
nexus.
Yeah, like a nexus, yeah, than essentially just
I see what you did.
everybody, every evening, killing a spectacled wren.
Mm.
Just happens in one place, so people feel good about themselves. That they're not
People that
committing
go
the
down and
act.
think about
right,
it.
yeah, it just gets delivered in a...
But
They call
also-
them nuggets in the halfling region.
In nuggets.
That's what they call them. I've never eaten one.
That sounds barbaric.
I've never eaten one.
And that was Zola talking.
Yeah. Call them
Obviously.
nuggets. Yeah, it's one of those. It's one of the.
Now that
Ways
you
of the
mentioned
world,
I
isn't
have
it?
had nuggets. This is how they make them.
If you've had a nugget, this is a nugget. Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
I just assumed there was some kind of nugget tree.
No. Yeah. These.
Thinking back to my time in the military and what
Yeah.
basically we lived off.
Nuggets. That's what they were.
Yeah.
Every ration pack.
Yeah.
Big old pile of nuggets.
Yeah.
Nuggets. Yeah. This is it.
And where are these nuggets going? I think these nuggets might be going somewhere nefarious. I think that is part of my
I
concern.
think they're going to Eckler.
They're basically
Yeah.
these now.
Hungry mouths.
Yeah, this
I think you'd be surprised.
one
you
of
know.
the basic foodstuffs in Equa is
Nuggets.
processed meat, and now I see where the processed meat's coming from.
It's one of the three main food groups.
Nuggets.
Water, nuggets. That's pretty much it, actually. Isn't it? A bit of cheese.
Gamble
You're
eggs.
lucky.
Yeah.
Gamble eggs.
Yeah. Nuggets.
Yeah. Well, so I feel like it sounds like nuggets are a necessity to the survival of the many.
Yes.
But there is a more humane way you can do this. These need to be freer
Yeah,
to
so much land.
range.
The thing is, we could probably do with having a chat with people because they may be farmed somewhere else and they may be brought here to be put through the old
I don't know,
the
I'm pretty
squeezer
sure one
and,
told me
and
there's
mash
orange in
it.
it.
Has it? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, then that's not a very
And then you just lay their eggs where they stand, so.
Yeah. I guess you'd find some information on them. I
This-
support any
this
decision you
place-
make,
this
Thoroughly.
place, it needs
To be
better,
honest, this is a
better
toxic.
conditions.
It's a toxic town.
Well, maybe we'll talk to the leader, because this biddy can't be their leader, surely. There's a...
No,
She's
there's
just
another
gonna-
woman.
Bastual.
Basu something or
Okay.
another.
Bless you.
She's up on the hill apparently farming the the big things.
Well, maybe we head there, see if any sense falls out of it, and get a wash, get some food, try not to get molested, and off we go.
That sounds like a plan to me. And if we really do need to smash something up, we can do it on the way out rather than.
Is that a euphemism?
Yeah, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're not doing that, I told you.
Oh, we're not doing that.
We've got the decency.
We're
No.
not going to smash it up
Oh, what are we smashing?
with the machine.
Oh, we can do that.
Yeah,
Well,
I was confused
yeah,
as well.
yeah, we can. We'll find out the true history of these spectral wrens and we'll make a decision from that.
Yeah.
I think this town is a ridiculous place, and to be honest, they're all liberating from themselves. And if that is smashing
Apparently,
apart,
what they want.
yeah, if that's apparently smashing this place apart,
Be
to get
careful how
people
you
to
use that term.
leave.
Remember, I liberated 2 people not too long ago.
Yeah, not that type of liberation, just a forceful
Remember that I
nudge
was excited.
out of the door.
Who are you giving a forceful nudge to?
Who knows? Who knows yet? Depends if it gets spicy around here.
Forceful nudge.
How many episodes did you plan on this lasting for? They could be here.
Because we can
Yes.
really stretch this out.
I would like to meet this gnome as well, in all honesty.
Yeah.
Fibfina.
Fina.
Fibfina, yeah, that's what I've got written down. Fibfina. I'd like to meet Fibfina at some point. I don't mind quickly zooming off to meet Fip while you guys head
Oh,
off
we
and have a. You can go and meet.
Safety in numbers, we can stick together.
You meet the biddy if you'd like to.
No, I think I've heard quite enough about that for one day. Well,
She's a lovely lady, but
if we're
she
desperate
will.
for a place to sleep and
Yeah.
maybe I can get some silver hour milk and we'll head back.
To be honest, she tried it on with me as soon as I walked in the door, and no, something wrong with that. Well, she's well out of my league.
That is pretty terrifying.
Something wrong
I mean,
with
what
that.
would the children look like?
I don't know what they'd love.
I don't know. I think I'm too old to be producing children these days.
It just comes out as dust.
We have been direct. We'll be back next Tuesday.
On that note,
7:30 p.m. BST.
Oh dear. We are getting banned from YouTube.
oh god.
Until next
You've
time,
ruined my dreams
we've been
for tonight.
rolling.
Hello, boys. Pink lemonade?
Mom!
Oh dear.